People all like to go out, depending on how they feel. Some of them have a blowout, so does an automobile. People look smart and nifty when wearing a rubber heel. People can go like 50, so does an automobile. Everyone's riding high when the hill is fast and steep. Everyone turns their ignition off when they go to sleep. People have engine trouble right after a heavy meal. And people get sick and run down, so does an automobile.
Oh boy, this is my night to howl. Oh, excuse me, again. Oh, I got the
Aw, does your window pain, huh? I see you're back in shape again.
A transfusion.
Oh, you poor thing. You must be exhausted. You look much better after your blood confusion.
Oh, me dogs are hurting. Oh, me feet are tired. I can't stand it. Oh, oh, oh. Sure, bigori, bigori, bigori. Sure, bigori, bigori, bigori. Sure, bigori, bigori, bigori.
Is everybody happy? Has anyone got a carburetor? Oh, now! Oh, business is picking up. Oh, hurry, hurry, hurry! Oh, I hope it's not a crankcase. Hurry! Oh, thank you. Aw. So does an
What up, cyberspace guys, cyber fam, and fambots everywhere. Famerica. That's right, it's Alright Prostate. It's Saturday night. And you know what that means? It's time for Accelerated Deconstruction, or as we like to call it, XD. With the one and only XL.
Big Dick Stream. Oh.
That's right, and the lovely Tim of the Hun.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I was so
Yeah,
humble.
we were actually,
She's so humble.
like, right in the pre-show, we were actually reminiscing on the last stream where we had the honor of having the Deb Philman on our stream. And
Yeah.
how I felt that went really, really good.
Oh, I thought her name was Deb Milfman.
Deb,
It's Philman. Okay, I got
Deb-
it. F-I-L-L-M. Okay.
Deb Gilfulman.
And there you
know-
go. Yeah, it's a
You know
call-in
her
show,
kids are
and it
actually
should be
younger
fun,
than
Doku.
mine, dude. What the
Right
fuck?
on. Right
By the way,
on,
I know
right
you have. I think you need to. Do you have a invite in the comments?
on.
Or
I got to
do
put
you need
one
to
in
post
there,
it?
man. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it on the main, on the hard. I'm gonna put a hard invite on here. I got to figure out though. If I do it, how should it look?
I'll say at least for a while. I mean, I think we talked about this a little. We were supposed to do this last week, but some stuff came up. I think we talked a little bit about how we're going to bring in one person at a time and let them bring up a topic. We'll talk about one topic at a time. We're going to rotate people out at least until the stream's gone on for like an hour and a half or so.
That's right. All right, and I am going to now put it. I'm opening the edit, and I will put the Discord link in the hard description.
We're also gonna stay on target, boys and girls. We're gonna talk about this channel and this show. So no discussing theoretical particle physics and white holes.
Yeah,
Because this
like,
isn't a
'cause
show
I'm not
about
gonna have-
theoretical physics.
That's
of-
racist.
I'm not going to have any
White
opinions
holes.
on that
Yeah,
other
white hole,
than
black
like the
hole
same
thing.
shit you could watch on PBS Spacetime. Because that is my physics knowledge.
Right.
I was good. So we're gonna stay on target, right, y'all? Well, okay. As much as we can stay on target as a group, we're gonna stay on target because I'd swear to fuck, we're all just a herd of cats.
Actually, I don't
So-
care if we get off target as long as it's fun.
Becca, are you
Okay.
alive? I guess she is. She's getting deluged with rain. She didn't do a show tonight. So,
Dude.
all right.
Hang
Well,
on,
Discord.
I saw the picture she posted.
Refresh.
Pale.
Yeah, dude.
Discord.
Yeah, the Discord link is now in the chat, but it's also, there's a hard link right at the on the description of the show. So you can, either one is the same thing.
Actually, can already answer Duck Duck's question. So, if the weather is terrible outside and you're thinking about doing a stream and you're also prone to power outages during bad weather, you don't do a stream.
Yeah.
Usually. Yeah. 'cause
Unless you want to blow equipment.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't care how good your power supply or if you even have like an uninterrupted, if you have a UPS, uninterrupted
Yeah, well-
power supply, I promise I could talk. you're
No.
still going to have damage. Sorry.
Yeah, I would say like not all of us can even afford to have like on top of our computer equipment like an electric buffer plugged into a battery packed up surge protector.
All right, let me tell this to everybody. All right, so when you hop in the server, just hop in the green room, and then somebody will yank you into the chamber, and once we get you in the chamber, we'll pop you in when we want to talk. Okay, so just be patient and bear with us, but we'll get this thing. And if I don't see it, Tim and Excel, please keep an eye on the thing. And in the chamber with us is the one and only Spittle Buggies. You can unmute yourself and say hi. Spittle Buggies. Spittle Buggies.
Sometimes it takes the moment for the thing to like actually unmute after you hit the button.
And this is the nature of the call.
Well, some people are listening to the show on the watch page. You need to mute the watch page when you come in here, because when you're live in here, you'll definitely hear us, but it'll be weird if you don't, because you'll hear things 30 seconds later than we say it.
Yeah, and it's technical difficulties apparently.
Technical. Oops, and there she goes. What? Spittle's in the server. All right. You got room. What's up?
Well, say like it's
that green room says. Let's see. Buzz, where are you, man? Just hop in the green room. All you do is click on it, and then we can yank you into the studio. Because I think you're.
We'll be gentle, I promise. It'll be a very sweet and loving yank.
He should be in the server. Nice.
Wait, what I missed? What I? Somebody said they watched a replay of your stream last night. What happened?
I don't know.
It's a Cream stream.
Typical Cream stream, nothing special.
Oh shit! Let me look. That sounds like Susan said something about it, and I will look my shit up. So y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we do have Spittle Buggies in the chat, or in the green room.
Well,
Oh, you want to pull her back in?
my husband did talk some shit in a super chat, but you know,
Spittle Buggies another try.
my husband does talk shit. It's kind of part of his personality. What the hell is going on, y'all? What was that?
All right, we're trying Spittle Buggy again. Spittle Buggy is muted.
Unmute yourself, Spittle Buggy, and make sure you have the internet version of the show turned off. And let's see.
Or at least muted.
Yeah, I want to try to find last night's. Yeah, last night's show is like a.
I thought about joining the show last night. I was awake, and I decided last night that I was just going to go hang out with my nephews because they're at my mom's house. I hadn't seen them in a while. And then I came home, and I was like, I could play video games or get on the internet, but I could just also watch shows I hadn't watched. I finished Star Trek The Lower Decks, which is not bad. It is not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
For adult, like, funny enough, like, I have a very low bar. If it doesn't push woke bullshit on me constantly,
Okay.
and it's referencing a franchise I love, I'm just like, you did a good job.
I didn't know you were a Trek guy, dude. Really?
Well, like, no, I'm not. I've never been. Okay, look, I'm not a Trekkie because I know what real Trekkies are like. I like Star Trek. Like, I think it's a fine franchise.
Right.
There's a lot of cool content in there, but like, I can't speak to you in Cleon.
Right. Well, right. I know exactly what you mean. I'm kind of that way.
I'm the same way with Star Wars.
Right. You don't speak bocce, do you?
No.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
See, that's from the fourth movie. They need a droid that speaks bocce.
Yeah, like, I'm It's the difference
okay.
between just being entertained by a certain franchise and like being attached emotionally to a franchise. But I can still tell, like, Star Wars, for instance, I was never emotionally attached to Star Wars.
All right, I
And
just
the
put a link to
sequels that
last night's
came out,
stream in.
they were crap.
Right.
Like, I just knew they were crap, and it was like, God, if you're actually a Star Wars fan, you're gonna harp down on the shit so much, and they did.
Spittle, can you hear us, sweetheart?
Yeah, I don't think Spittle Buggies is gonna figure this one out. So, maybe put it back in the green room. Let her type in chat if she's got it figured out, and then we let somebody else come in.
So, Discord and Windows are doing funky stuff. I've had a few times where I've been in the middle of talking to everybody, and it'll just switch drivers. So, sometimes you have to go check your settings. I've had to do it like twice now.
It's probably every time you get a Windows update, and I bitched about that a billion fucking times.
Yeah, they default.
Every time there's a Windows update, Windows is like, I know your sound settings better than you do, and it fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you definitely don't want to run banana. Just saying.
So I did have some things that weren't Critical Race Series specific, but I did kind of want to talk about tonight.
Doku's in the chamber.
Fuck yeah.
All right, let's bring Doku in while I bring up Larry Elder is a serious threat now.
Yes.
Not to me.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Doku, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Nice to see y'all. I actually thought I wasn't gonna have anything to talk about, but you guys brought up comics, and I want to say, I was surprised that the third episode of What If actually doesn't sound too bad, and the new Spider-Man trailer actually looks pretty decent. Maybe Marvel's actually finally starting to move away from that politically correct nonsense, and maybe we'll get something decent.
I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I'm going to let everybody else go first.
Did you guys knock yourselves out?
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, so but I will.
So I've actually talked to you already about this before, Doku, but I think what's going on is you have all these young people that are getting positions at these companies like Marvel and DC, whether it's marketing or in the writing team, and they've grown up and they went to college and they're on the West Coast, so they're fully invested in this woke ideology, and wokeness is a brain disease, and it inhibits your creative ability. So the only thing you're able to do is write stories that are copycats of other stories, but inject wokeness into it, and that shit is terrible. But I think there are writers out there that don't want to do that, and I actually do believe we're starting to see like at least a slight turning point in these major franchises where they're just like, people don't like these other people that think this way. So we're going to fire them, and we're going to write stories that are just good stories. Well, which is all the fan base ever asked for. Just write a good fucking story. Don't preach to me, goddammit.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like good science fiction, good comic fantasy writing always lets you do your thinking for you, right? It always shows you, you know, if there's a woke message, it'll show that to you. And a good writer is going to trust you with that, right? They're going to trust you're going to get it, right? They don't have to spell it out for you, you know, and measure the angles.
And that's the thing I've started to notice is where the writers that actually have talent, because, you know, we have this wonderful thing called the internet that allows you to, you know, you don't have to go work for the big two. You don't actually have to be a quote industry professional. You can actually go out, start your own brand, crowdfund it, do an indie comic, and they're actually rather successful. I mean, yeah, you can be your own advertiser, be your own marketer, be your own publisher. You don't need Marvel, you don't need DC. So if you're talented enough, you can tell a decent story. You could still tell a story that is considered quote quote woke, but you can do it in such a way that it doesn't come across as, you know, preachy, and it's still entertaining, and, you know, people actually might buy it. I mean, if you go back and look at the way some comics were in the 70s and the 80s, Was it
Oh.
woke by
Well,
our standards?
think
No,
about-
not quite. But
Think about some of the most amazing comic stories ever told. Those are the stories where the bad guy, which now would be the fascist or whatever, but they do a really good job of trying to steel man why this bad guy thinks he's doing good. And you
Well,
understand why the bad guy's doing good. They don't do that anymore.
well,
Yeah,
that's the
Or they
mark
do
of a good writer.
sometimes, but
Real quick, that's the mark of a good writer, is where you can actually understand why the person who is the antagonist or the villain is doing what they're doing, as opposed to just, oh no, they're bad because they don't agree with me. No, you understand their motivations, and in a way you can kind of sympathize with it. Like, that's how you write a good villain.
yeah. Anybody in the cult of wokeness is incapable of doing so.
I
Well,
hate
you
it.
have to give up.
admitting
You
that.
have to give up independent thought to be able to be part of the wokeists.
That's true.
So
That's a valid point.
without independent thought, there's no creativity.
Well, very true. I mean, it's like when you see fucking James Woods trending on Twitter. It's like, why is James Woods trending on Twitter? Because they don't like him because he disagrees with them. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Just because he posted a picture from Afghanistan saying, like, it was mourning the people that died there.
Wait, was
this
that
weekend.
what it was about? Because I tried
That's what I
going through
can
the.
figure out.
So this is actually kind of funny because I was trying to figure that out as well, and the best that I could come up with was, I guess they're doing a movie about Rudy Giuliani, and he's gonna be playing Giuliani. So, yay, let's dunk on James Woods, I guess, because
Giuliani
he's not
bad.
leftist.
Giuliani rub elbows with the orange man. It instantly becomes orange. Orange rubs off.
Well, it's guilty by association. You know
Yeah.
that thing I'm constantly saying is for bigots? Yeah.
No,
Well,
I'll
it
be
never happens
honest.
here
It
on
took me.
YouTube, thank God.
What?
Never mind. Well, keep on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just managing shit.
Oh, shoot.
Uh, I was just gonna. I'll
Alright,
be honest. I was
you're
trying to figure out why James Woods was trending, and the only thing I could find was I couldn't even find what Tema said. I just found the oh yeah, they're doing a Giuliani movie. Everything else was, oh, I hope James Woods is trending because I hope he died of COVID, or I hope his girlfriend graduated high school. It was just the same vitriolic, I hate you because you don't think the same way I do type of nonsense. And it's like, can we please get past that at this point in time?
These people can't.
I mean, it's
They
really,
can't.
but it's really sad that you can't just accept that. Look, I don't agree with you. It doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean I'm vitriolic. But you're over here calling me, the worst thing possible.
Yeah, the worst part about all of that is that you would think like this is isolated to like, 'cause I've been on the internet forever. Like it's isolated to a group of zealots on the internet, but it's not. Like it appears in your real life. It appears in your people at work that have been given carte blanche to talk about their left-wing ideology because that is basically what the corporation has adopted. And they're just as visceral. Like it's, I don't know. That upsets me more than anything going on Twitter, right? Why I can go into a Zoom conference because everybody has to work from home because everybody's afraid of COVID, and people will have their Black Lives Matter H&R Block approved logo behind them, and they say, well, that's an apolitical message.
Which is total
And it's
horseshit.
not.
Okay.
It's
total
horseshit.
Yeah. I concur, my friend. I concur.
They
Okay,
do the
so
same
the
thing
part-
with Pride Month.
I think I pissed off
I-
the internet. I lost connection there for a moment. Sorry about that.
Dude, are you in Texas?
okay.
Are you getting some of this rain?
No, I'm on the East Coast. I'm right outside of DC, so I might actually be more at risk. But we actually are getting a decent amount of rain.
It's just because there's absolutely zero functional infrastructure in your area. You know, you'd be fine with a bunch of rain if you had like functional infrastructure there.
Draining.
Actually, oddly enough, we operate off 2 power grids, so we should be one of the more secure infrastructures in the entire country. But yeah, tell that to Comcast.
Sorry.
But
Nah,
there we go.
it's worth laughing at.
Irate just shared
I'm
the
not
link out
laughing at
again.
you. I'm laughing for you. So.
Again, this is a call-in show. I think we have Kathy in the green room.
Well,
Yeah, if you guys want to bring Kathy in, I can go ahead and jump out.
that's Aunt Kathy.
It's Aunt Kathy?
Yeah, it's Aunt Kathy.
Oh, gosh.
Aunt Kathy, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, darling. How you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to tell you, hey.
Well, hey.
Well, hey,
How you feeling?
I'm getting there. I'm gonna tell you, it's been slow.
Well, so tell everybody what happened if they didn't know.
Oh, well, my whole family got COVID, all within a few days of each other, and that was at the very beginning of August. And then my husband and I he just now went back to work. We're just barely. I'm gonna tell you, it's still trying to get us, but we just don't go down that easy.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna take him down, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm in bed because I'm madder than a hornet.
I bet
Been
you.
mad.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know. But COVID just got me mean, real mean, real mean. I just gotten so mad today. I've snapped his head so many times. He's probably looking kind of like Linda Blair in The Exorcist with his head spun around.
Head on the swivel.
Dude, I'm going to be real honest. For the last 6 months, my rage levels have been through the roof. I wonder if that is a side effect of COVID that has been undocumented.
It might be because I am like ready to go out there and help just rip his head off. Just help twist it. Help it get all the way around where that green stuff will go out somewhere else. Because he's done got on my last nerve and he hasn't done anything but get sick.
Wait, COVID is turning us all into murder hornets.
I'm telling you, it's ugly. That's what they meant by them damn murder hornets. They weren't talking about the actual hornet. They were talking about the people that was going to get a little better from the virus, and they're going to go around just eating people alive like I'm doing. I'm telling you, I done snapped a few heads.
Man.
And
So what did the doctor say? Did they treat you for it? Or?
well, no, because I don't like her. My doctor died. I've got really good luck like that. And I'm real funny about it. I don't like to talk, I don't like people that much. So I had the same doctor all long time. Well, he up and died. And he's younger than I am. Made me so mad. But I got a new doctor. I'm trying not to get crazy here. But she was like, you got to go in the hospital. And I said, no, I'm not. Because I don't, I have a DNR. I don't want any tubes or anything. And she said, well, I can't do nothing. You got to go in the hospital. Well, she won. I didn't go. But she thinks she won. But I sat here and I thought, well, live or die, I'm staying home.
That's right. Well,
So
there's a financial incentive for them to put people in the hospital now.
Hey, Aunt Kathy, if you were in Australia, they would have done you the kind pleasure of putting you into a little camp by yourself.
Well, I would have probably been happy by myself. You're
just like, I don't give a shit if you're giving me like a 6 foot by 3 foot room that just all it has is a bed. Just fucking put me in there, leave me alone, and feed me. I'm good to go.
You just leave me alone. Just don't come near me because I'm gonna snap your head off. They should have sent me over to Afghanistan. I could have took care of business in probably 15 minutes.
Shit, I'm pretty sure Aunt Kathy just turned my entire opinion on the Australian COVID concentration camps upside down.
Well, I think it's a great idea, actually. Just give me some. I might not need internet, but I'll donate to the cause. But I got to have a little something when I'm not so mad.
Whiskey neat.
Do what now?
Whiskey neat.
Yep, I'll take it. There
There we go. We're on the same page. I'll cheers to that.
I don't want to go to prison. I'll go to the camp. because I know I'll eventually get out or die, one or the other. It's been rough. It's been long, and it's not over yet. I mean, I'm still not breathing like I should, but I'm still breathing. So win or lose, I mean, I'm still here.
What's your blood ox now?
Right now, it's at 93.
Okay.
So I'm above
Just-
90.
That's better. That's better than like my mom, who has never had COVID and has COPD from smoking.
Well, you know, it's
how low did it get, Aunt Kathy?
it got down to 78. That's when me and her were arguing, my doctor.
Damn.
And, you know, I'm trying to breathe, and she's trying to tell me, you need to go right in the hospital, and I'm arguing with her. Now I need a really old doctor. And I said that a few times because he's got to be really, really old, but not near death.
Right.
Because I just wanted a shot of antibiotics that I'm not allergic to. Pretty much all of them kill me anyway. You know, I didn't want to not get treated, but I didn't want to waste time in a hospital and then, you know, take that space with somebody that could really help or that wanted to be helped.
Right.
And you better not come near me with nothing plastic, a tube going anywhere near my butt or my throat. Because either hole is going to get you knocked
I am with
down.
you on that.
Yeah, I don't care if I'm barely breathing or not. I'll get you. You don't want to be around if I wake up.
No doubt.
But yeah, it's been a slow process. It's been almost a month. And it's like, it wants to kill me. I thought other people did, but nope, it's COVID straight here to take me out.
The Chinese gift that keeps on giving.
That's right. I'm so mad right now I could take them out too, because I told my son the other day, I said, you know, if it was up to me, China wouldn't even exist no more. Because I'm pretty upset about getting sick.
Amen to that. That I will cheers to.
I think that's what my dad meant when he was alive. He served in World War II and Korea, and he used to talk about the day will come when, you know, chemicals will be the warfare. I think this is it.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of chemical.
Right.
So get you sick and you're going to stay. My son's only 36 years old, and he's still having trouble. He had it last year, and he's still having trouble catching his breath. And he ought to be, you know, that's not good. He's very healthy, and he's not near as mean as I am. So, Lord, that he ought to be 100%.
I don't know. I think maybe the mean helps us recover a little faster, honestly, Aunt Kathy.
I think it helped me recover, but it's going to help me make somebody else not recover.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Because I just recover from stuff out of spite. That's my thing.
Well, I'm pretty upset right now. I'm not kidding. I'm really ugly. I mean, if I look at him, I just snap at him. You know, and I'm not that big, so me snapping at somebody who could probably snap me like a twig on a tree out there is pretty brave of me. I think I'm going to award myself a bravery medal. One of us I told my daughter-in-law the other day, she come over to check on us because she's in the medical field, you know, she knows how stubborn I am. And she come out and she said, I'm worried about him. I bet you are, because he ain't nothing but a big old baby in there. Just big old baby. Got to have everybody cater to him. I was like, don't worry about him. He'll be all right. Because either way, one of us is going out. One of us. I don't know which one, but one of us is leaving. Either one of us is going, because we're going to kill each other. And it ain't going to be from COVID. It's going to be from being mean. Uh-oh. Because I've had, you know, and I got to thinking about old stuff. I'm going to tell y'all this real quick. I got to thinking about old things that I really didn't complain too much about, you know, a long time ago. And I thought, well, today's the day, his lucky day. Because I remember COVID helped me with that. So I went in there and, you know, when we had our grandchildren here and we had just, you know, we just lost our daughter and the kids were missing school. Well, they sent me a letter. Well, to me and my husband, because it was nice of them to include us both, saying that we had to come and explain why. You know, and they also had down at the bottom that we could go to jail. for truancy. Not because we were truant, because they considered the kids. So I'm going to tell y'all, that really upset me. It upset me pretty bad. I had to go to court. Well, I thought, well, I'm just going to be nice and deal with this on my own. I'm not going to upset my husband with it. I'll just, go on down there and take care of this. Well, the day came that I had to go, and he was running late, and I said, look, I got to go to court. This is court. I got to go up here for us because the boys have missed school a lot. And he acted like it wasn't no big deal, just no big deal whatsoever, until I said, well, it says here we can go to jail. And guess what? Your name's on it. Well, he was home in 15 minutes. And he said, what do you mean my name's on it? I was like, well, your name's on it now. Now you worried about it, aren't you? Right. I said, I'll tell you what, you got 2 weeks vacation time. Why don't you go on down there and turn yourself in for us and take care of it, and you can use vacation time. Take care of business. You can handle yourself in there better than I can anyway. But I was mad, and he got all upset then. He wanted to read the letter, and he wanted all the details. And then he said, well, what'll happen if they, punished you that way? And I said, well, I guess you're going to have to come and pick up the car because it'll be sitting outside of the courthouse. We had a big old argument about that, and I was so mad because he was okay with me going to jail, but not him. And he had vacation time, I didn't. But I went down there, and they, I think I left them really upset because I just, they forgot to write anything down. When the kids missed school, they didn't put nothing in the record, so they had no idea what we had been going through. So when I walked out of there, I thought about just keep on going and telling my husband I was going to be in jail a little while. But I didn't. I came home. But I thought about it today, and I thought I'm going to go in there and tell him about that. And he's sitting there. He couldn't hardly breathe, and he's like, I'm hyperventilating. And this is how mean I am today. I said, do you need a bag? You want me to go get you a bag? Because you're going to hear it. Yeah. And my daughter's like, Mom, he really can't breathe. I said, I can see that. I can see that, Sarah. It's okay. Get him a brown bag. Because I'm going to say what I got to say. Because I'm mad now. In fact, I'm getting mad again. Hell, I'm going to have to sedate myself and go to bed. It's pretty bad. How are y'all doing?
Well, actually, Aunt Kathy, I actually have a question for you.
Sure.
I know we're all friends with AP, so we know that AP has been documenting the internet escapades of your niece, and I don't care about that. You're actually just a really good storyteller. So what I want to ask you is, tell me the weirdest story in your life that you have ever experienced. Just,
well, Lord,
just
do you want
weird, strange, like. I don't care if there's ghosts or demons involved. I want to know.
Oh, I got a demon one, and I got a weird. Well, the only one that.
Pick your poison.
I tell you what keeps popping up in my mind. Now, Irate might remember this, but I don't know. He's still kind of young, too. But I don't know if any of y'all remember the era when before they took Quaaludes off the market. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? This was
yes, ma'am.
You do? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Well, y'all got real quiet there, like they're illegal. They don't even make them no more, so don't worry about that. Well, anyway, this was during that time period, and of course, my sister worked for a doctor, and they always giving out samples. Well, we were single then. We used to, we'd have one too many, and then drink one too many. But we decided to walk home because we were like just a few blocks from where we were living. And we're on the way home. And we're staggering. And I know it had to be a sight to see. But we passed by a swimming pool at a motel. And I said, I'm going swimming. And I did. But I didn't want to get my clothes wet. And then here comes security. And he's standing there holding my clothes and my sister's clothes and all these phone numbers. Because that was why we went off. It was a bet. We had a bet to see how many phone numbers we'd come home with. Because I didn't give them numbers. I took them. But I'm just standing there looking on. I'm not standing nowhere. I'm in the water. When it was pretty bad. It was really bad. You can imagine. They told we had to go, but he wouldn't turn around so I could get out and get dressed. My sister's over there giggling, being on herself. just acting a fool over there, thinking that's the funniest thing she'd ever seen. I didn't think it was. We didn't get in no big trouble. We just had to get dressed and go. But we continued our walk home, realized we went the wrong way, and staggered back in the other direction and got home.
I totally relate to that.
I can't think. I mean, everything in my life has been crazy. You name it. It's been. You just pick anything, pick a topic, and I can tell you something went crazy in my world.
Every time I took lewds, I ended up getting like popped in the face just because you couldn't feel it, right? Like fuck around with it. This is a dude thing. You'd fuck around with your friends and stuff. You like punch each other and slap each other, and
we didn't do that.
Both of you got bloody noses and shit. It's like that you don't feel it. You're laughing about it. And then
real quick. Original Astrella asked if you got arrested.
No,
and
never.
My answer is you might have been detained.
No, I've never been detained, believe it or not, or arrested. I know it's a shocker, but no, I haven't. Now when I got a little older, I kind of covered my bases. I dated a detective for a couple of years, and that kind of kept me out of trouble, I think.
I bet.
A little while. I wasn't dumb. I was pretty smart. In fact, I'll tell you something. One day somebody came here. I might have already told y'all this. I don't know. I can't keep track of myself. But someone came by and I just didn't like the way they looked. They were looking for my daughter. And I said, well, she's not here. And even if she was, I don't know who you are. But they took it upon themselves to step in my foyer anyway. And then he thought he was going to intimidate me because she was here. And I just wasn't going to let him talk to her. But then he said, well, did you know my father's in prison? He was a serial killer. And I said, well, then you're pretty dumb then, aren't you? And he's looking at me. He's like, did you hear what I said? I said, I heard what you said. Well, my grandfather was pretty mean himself, but guess what? He was smarter than your daddy because he never got caught. Now you get back on that bike and go on up the road with your dumb ass. If you dad's dumb,
what is this shit that I'm seeing from FTW Nil? Like, am I being lied to? Is this your channel? You have your own channel, ain't Kathy?
Yeah, she does.
You started it 3 weeks ago, didn't you?
No, actually, I did start one, but I don't remember when. It was, a couple of months now?
Yeah, it's been up a couple of months.
Yeah, I just been off sick for a couple of weeks. In fact, the last video I did on there, going to show that dumb niece of mine how to walk in a pair of shoes. That was it for me. I was the day I just come upstairs and laid down. And yesterday was the first day I actually, moving around more than I had been. So, yeah, I got a channel, but it was there for fun. Really, I was just trying to, I don't know why I did. I guess because you just can't keep interrupting other people's shows. Call somebody a liar.
Like what you're doing right now. You've actually stole the spotlight from everything this stream was supposed to be about. Do you even know it like this? Do you even know what me and Irate and Atima do on Saturdays?
No, I actually, don't know.
we talk about critical race theory. What do you know about that?
Critical race theory. That's kind of that crap they're teaching in school, isn't it?
Woke shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I don't like it. I can tell you what I think about it. I don't like it. I mean, my grandson come home told me he could be anything.
Holy shit. No, I'm going to be real. Argument solved. Critical race theory, Kathy's response. I don't like it. That's it. All we need to know. That's all we need to know.
Well, you don't need to like it either. Wait till your grandson comes home and decides he wants to be a rug. Or just any old thing. Come home.
Explain that, okay?
Yeah, well, let me tell you. He come in and he said and this was at the beginning of school. He's in middle school, and he said they had a big old thing at school, not a pep rally like I would have thought, but, they were talking about the kids could now come and be anything they want to be or identify themselves any way they want. So if he wanted to be a girl tomorrow, he could be one. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, he's thinking to himself because he likes being a boy. Thank God. And he said, I'll just go to school tomorrow and be a rug or a washing machine or something.
Well, I identify yourself as an attack helicopter. So.
yeah, I said, well, don't
There's a
be
lot of
wash-
us out there.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, don't be no wet washing machine because you're gonna wear yourself out before the end of the day on the spin cycle. But go ahead, you can be a rug if you want to. Go ahead and practice. Well, he laid in front of my refrigerator. Made me walk around him for about 30 minutes until I finally said, I'm about ready to step on you because that's what I do with rugs.
Now, somebody said something about critical race theory, Ryan Walters, NASCAR. Yeah. All right. So Bubba Wallace opened our eyes to that shit. Just saying.
Wasn't he the one that did the theme, made a big old deal about something?
Yeah. Well, what it was, all right, so this is Talladega, Alabama, right? Talladega is usually the first race of the year. And so there was a pull on that damn, what do you call it, or garage door.
Right.
Oh, the garage pull.
It was a garage door pull, right? That you pull down, right? And it was
turned out it was just always there, and it was just the type of knot that
right.
people.
Right.
do.
They thought it was
It's
a news.
Yeah.
And
People
it's
say
like,
that.
and it wasn't big enough for fucking 4 fingers. Excuse my
Well,
language,
Lord,
Aunt Kathy. You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't hang a rug up there, could you?
No, exactly.
Well,
and then 15 FBI agents get dispatched to that shit.
I'm surprised they're not here at my house right now. But they're not.
Well, yeah, because they're surely not going to be doing their job like trying to bust real criminals or nothing. Holy fuck.
No, they're going
my
to come
God.
in and try to chase
I
me
went on-
around.
I went on Twitter one time and I was like, you know what? After looking back, Trump's not that bad. And I had
Not
like 90 FBI agents question me right after I said that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, somebody was at the store before, I think it was right after he was elected. And they were saying, I think it was not far out. They didn't like him anyway. And they were trying to pull me in their conversation, which I really wasn't in the mood. And I said, look, he's an asshole. I agree. But I've been married to one of them for over 33 years. I can get used to an asshole as long as he knows what he's doing and pays the bills. That's all I worry about.
Yeah,
I will drink to that. Cheers.
Dennis Leary's "I'm an Asshole" should be playing in the background right now.
So,
Yeah, fuck your the strikes on YouTube and screw Susan. You should totally be listening to that.
No,
I'm joking.
Kathy said exactly what everybody needs to hear. Do you need to like the guy? No. I didn't vote for him. Yeah, I didn't vote for him because I liked him. I voted for him because I wanted to get the damn job done.
Right, and we needed our bills paid, and we needed this country's bills paid. Somebody got to take care of something. You can be a jerk all you want. I don't got to talk to you, just as long as you're doing your job. Hell, I didn't like half the people that worked under me, but I didn't fire them just because I didn't like them.
Exactly.
I tried to catch them at something. I'm just kidding. Catch them in there. Catch them in there with the shoes on backwards.
So I see
like
Roots
they're doing
Calhoun has joined the server. Just
He is
hop
so
in,
sweet.
hop in the green room, and we'll pull you in. And
He is so sweet. He sent me some pizza,
oh,
and I haven't put it up yet, but I ate all of one of them, and then I let everybody else have the other one. And it was really good pizza. It was from Chicago.
We got Phil Daniel in the green room right now.
bring him
Oh Lord, I wasn't married to him, was I? You said that
Philip is our resident poet, not musician laureate, I guess. I don't know what you would call that. Philip?
Well, I guess I better let y'all get back to everybody else then, because I'll keep you. I would.
No, we
Yeah,
hang with them.
I'm fine with you staying in. Just let's give Philip his chance to shine.
Yeah, just as long as I wasn't married to him. Tell him come home.
Hey, Philip.
I'm doing well. You?
Good, man. How you? So.
Sorry. I missed the first 45 minutes of the stream, actually. I saw it was a call-in show, and I figure I'm always, I'm always invited.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
How are you doing?
I think I'm doing well. I've been very busy.
Definitely.
Well, besides my composing, I've been working as a law clerk, so that's been taking up as a remote law clerk. So that's been taking up a lot of time too.
I'll tell you right now, you haven't really missed much because we have not have like any kind of focused target tonight. It's just freelance. Like we're just talking. Kathy came in, told us a bunch of amazing stories. We haven't even really like very little like CRT stuff or critical theory stuff. Do you have a specific topic though that you want to talk about right now?
Well, I do just find it interesting that Theodore Adorno, who's often called the right winger of the Frankfurt School, which is a bit of a misnomer, I think. He was actually a trained composer. He was taught by Alban Berg, who was a student of Arnold Schoenberg. And I'd say that although Adorno's philosophy mostly belongs in the garbage, his writings on musicology, his biography on his teacher Alban Berg in particular, is quite useful. And his compositions, as sort of on the fringe of the Second Viennese School, are interesting at least. It is rather interesting that he affiliated himself with a school of avant-garde composition, the Second Viennese School, that was essentially founded by a right-winger, a monarchist. That being Arnold Schoenberg, who, incidentally, Schoenberg refused to allow Adorno access to his posthumous papers. So after Schoenberg died, he had written into his will that Adorno was not to have any access to his personal papers. And the other interesting anecdote about Schoenberg is that one of his early pupils, Hans Eisler, the composer Hans Eisler, who had composed for some Hollywood films actually and composed some musicals, was a communist, and he was ultimately deported. And Schoenberg refused to sign a petition in protest of the deportation. Of course, Schoenberg was known to be, despite his avant-garde, despite his radical musical experiments, Schoenberg was known to be hostile to communism. He was known to have been pro-aristocracy. Even although he developed a bitter attitude towards his native Austria, which of course he was forced to leave, he refused to sign the petition against the deportation of Hans Eisler, because he believed that it was not the position of a talented composer or any musician to involve himself in political affairs, especially in radical politics.
Wow.
And I think he said something along the lines of...
Really? People,
I think he said something along the...
And actors and celebrities believe that at some time?
Yeah, well, here we're talking about serious music, and we're talking about someone... We're talking in the case of Arnold Schoenberg. He was born in 1874. He was born to a very different world. So he died in 1951, so he lived a fairly long life. The last third of it in the United States. And incidentally, his grandson, of course, is the attorney E. Randall Schoenberg. You know, all those Nazi art cases. The paintings that the Nazis had appropriated, so all those lawsuits, a lot of those lawsuits were filed by E. Randall Schoenberg, and of course, his son was the judge. Arnold Schoenberg's son was the judge in the O.J. domestic violence case in 1988.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he had let off O.J. Simpson with a slap on the wrist, and we know how that turned out.
Wow.
So you see how small this world is, how everything ties together.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, of course, Arnold Schoenberg was sort of he wasn't a pupil of Mahler, but Mahler, Gustav Mahler, who died in 1911, protected Schoenberg from the critics, sort of. He was very protective of him. Yeah. And, of course, I'm distantly related to Gustav Mahler. I have some Mahler ancestors from that part of the Austro-Hungarian
that's why
Empire.
ours-
So
That explains the German.
Yeah, my smooth
Yeah.
brain is trying to form wrinkles and it hurts.
I just find
Well,
I know I'm going off on all these weird tangents, but it's all very interesting.
Well, I think a lot of people
And
don't
and you know
realize-
about Hans Eisler? I was listening to his Hollywood leaderbook, and it is very interesting how, unlike most of Schoenberg's early pupils, he came to reject both atonality and the 12-tone system that Schoenberg had developed in the early 1920s, and despite being a communist, Hans Eisler composed in a much more accessible, far less experimental, more conventional manner, a manner almost suited to Broadway musicals.
One of
Let's
the
say.
things you said that really sparked my interest, and I just don't want it to leave my mind, is that you were talking about this guy that was the right-wing figure of the Frankfurt School, right? Like, as if such a thing could possibly exist. And it makes
Theodore
me-
Adorno. Well, yeah.
Well, hold on. It makes me think back just to like the idea of like what were
all
the National
relative.
Socialists, what were the fascists, right? Like,
Yeah.
they were people that like they believed at the core, right? Like this revolutionary socialist doctrine
Yes.
that could be, but then they just were like, well, they were wrong about some things, so they revised it. They kept revising.
Well,
it.
yes,
This-
but
it
also,
was a very specific revision.
but also the movement spearheaded by Mussolini in Italy started off, as a trade unionist movement, and that's where the name of the movement comes from, because the bundle of sticks was the
That's-
Oh my
symbol
God, I
of the
just-
trade unions.
I just tried to talk to somebody about this who was arguing, like there was like a little poll going on that we're in a group about, where like
Yeah.
what's worse, communism or fascism? And like just because of the person that started the poll, like communism was way worse than fascism with those people. But then you
I don't-
actually look at
yeah.
like discreetly what fascism was, like it had a lot of problems, but it was at least a little bit more friendly to what would actually happen, especially in an economic system, which is what keeps your people from starving to death. Slightly better than what the communist proposal was.
Well, I'd say Spain in the 70s was probably a more tolerable place to live than the Soviet Union in the 1950s, but it's not saying much.
I don't actually count that. Like, I think that's like a post-Soviet revolutionary era. Like, fascism was so short-lived that
Well, I mean,
usually when
Franco
people
and
say the word
Salazar are
fascism-
often grouped in, as is Pinochet. They're often grouped in, though I think that's a bit of a mistake.
it's a huge mistake, because like if you read Mussolini's doctrine of fascism and what Pinochet did, they're not alike at all.
No. It's just they are lumped together because they're all viewed as varieties of right wing as opposed to left wing
Yeah.
authoritarianism.
And all the people that write about it that happen to be left wing.
Yes, I do find it interesting, just getting back to Adorno one more time. He, of course, wrote a book on the authoritarian personality, which he said was inherently right-wing, but towards the end of his life, around the time of the 60s protests, the student protests in Germany, of course he was teaching in Frankfurt, in private letters to Horkheimer, his fellow philosopher in the Frankfurt School, he warned, he basically predicted the rise of what he called left-wing fascism, which is very interesting. That he would make such a warning or such a prediction, and he identified the source of this left-wing fascism in the student movement of the '60s. So he was right about one thing.
Obvious, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, unless you're so blinkered by ideology like Marcuse or Horkheimer were. Because Marcuse is the worst of them,
Yeah, Marcuse's idea.
He was the
what was it?
he
something
was
about
the
like
teacher, the mentor.
intolerance.
His polemic was called repressive tolerance, and of course, to put it simply, I'm not an expert on this at all, but the idea is, of course, you cannot tolerate the intolerant in civil society, and therefore you cannot tolerate the right.
Well, yeah, he was fucking.
Which again is really interesting. Which is really interesting because so much of the Frankfurt School is influenced by the conservative revolution of interwar Germany. Thinkers like Klages and Heidegger, and the poet Stefan George. So there was right wing. So these conservative thinkers actually influenced both fascism and the Frankfurt School. Spengler was an influence.
So the problem is that like Marcuse was coming from Popper, and he had this idea that like there is such a thing as like there's certain things that are intolerable, but where he drew the line is like where like peaceful resolution is no longer an option.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and like I
didn't envision that.
Like, that is true.
Yeah,
but Marcuse took it to a different level where he said, well, we don't have to look at like, is it immediately peaceful? We just have to agree because we're socialists and communists that it's going to lead to violence, so we're going to ban it.
And this is one of the sources of the idea of verbal violence, that words alone can constitute a form of violence that should be immediately dealt with. And it's no accident that Marcuse was the mentor of Angela Davis. He's been totally rehabilitated and lionized. He was totally lionized. And yeah, she traveled, to East Germany and praised the East German government, and she even excused the invasion of Czechoslovakia.
Oh. Wow. You mean the genocide of the Bohem?
And that was not Angela. That wasn't Angela Davis. That was Asada Shakur. Totally different individual. It was the cop killer who fled to Cuba. Angela Davis is. I think she did go to prison for something, but she's a professor now. She's like an emeritus professor, I think at Berkeley.
I think so.
I was close enough.
I knew it was there.
It was one of the University of Southern California schools. Well, that does, her particular experience. Her upbringing does explain certain things. At least then they could praise. At least then they She could travel to East Germany and not be repulsed by the people, by the majority population there. That's all I've got to say. Nowadays, there's nothing more hated by progressives than progressives of visible European descent. But anyway,
I have on this very line of subject. I have some screen captures of things on Twitter, which you don't need to share, right? But I'll just read them. So I found these very interesting. So this was in the wake of the article about how the Supreme Court said, no, Joe Biden, you can't just mandate based on executive authority that you can't have evictions, right? Like that's just not in your power. You can't do it. And I was reading responses to some of the articles, and one of the ones started out like this. I just wonder how many Americans could believe they're talking about law when it comes to throwing millions of people out onto the street. Do these justices really believe the founders of this nation would have stood by a constitution that would allow for that? I don't. Granted, this person's name is something anti-fascist. That's all you need to know. And then somebody else responded, it's like, I think the founders would have been in favor of property rights. The tenants had a very clear terms to the lease agreement. They can or won't pay the rent. That's fine. They can find somewhere else to live. And then this person that knows a lot about the Constitution comes back and says, I disagree 100%. That was the little emoji for 100. There's zero about property rights in the Constitution. They speak of privacy instead. In fact, there's zero about what kind of economic system the nation should have. People who say things like this project things onto the Constitution that aren't there. And I'm sorry, I face bombs so bad with everything this person just said. And I also believe that is her victimhood of being in public schools. That's what she was taught about the Constitution. She was never taught about what the word liberty meant.
I kind of didn't want to have another beer, but after hearing that, I feel like I'm going to have to take an obligatory drink just to kill off the brain cells that retained that information.
Say goodbye to that shit. Right? Bubonic's joined us. Bubonic for you.
Hi, Boo.
Hey, man.
It makes something in your soul hurt to hear somebody be so fucking stupid about the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Because apparently person, papers, and effects just doesn't fucking mean anything.
Yes, we care so much about the right to a life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, private property, that we demand that the government has to tell you what you can or cannot do with your private property, or at this point in time in our current clown world, what you can do with your body. Odd how that works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I guess when it's convenient for your, I actually have a lot of back and forth with a particular PhD on Twitter. Or not a PhD, but he's a doctor. We have back and forth all the time. I find it odd that we use a lot of words to define things that are convenient for how we perceive the world around us, and give a little oomph to our argument. But if you really try to break it down, and he actually said something that I actually do agree with. Pick your loaded word of the day. And that's kind of where our politics have devolved into, is everything is a loaded word. It has some sort of connotation or some sort of meaning behind it, whether it's accurate or not. It has a perceived meaning because it's been so used, whether it's overused or underused.
Mad echo from me, huh?
No, you're fine, Roots.
No, you're good.
But
yeah, whether the word is so overused or underused that we don't even really think about the meaning behind it. And we just sling these words around like, oh, well, you're a communist, you're a fascist, you're a racist, you're a socialist. And no one ever actually stops to take the time and say, like, well, what do you actually believe? Like, put the buzzwords aside and, tell me what you actually really believe. And let's have an actual conversation. People don't take the time to do that anymore. And if you try, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter comes in and says, nope, you can't have that conversation. Well, why not? Well, what are you
YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter are now in real fucking life, man. Like, you go to the bar and people are shutting you down, just like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's fucking insane, man. I live in Chicago right now, and there's a bar right down the street. It's fucking almost damn near impossible to have an intelligent conversation with anybody, man. It's scaring the shit out of me, to be honest with you, man. I had a house 6 months ago, 8 acres, middle of nowhere, McNabb, Illinois, right on the ass end of Starved Rock State Park. There were fucking Bigfoot there, by the way, if you guys ever want to talk about that shit. It was fucking wild, man. But yeah, dude, it's insanity in these cities, man. People are so fucking brainwashed. They don't know their ass from a hole in the fucking wall. And I'm sorry for jumping in like that, being a jag off.
Well, that's the thing. It's
You're fine,
wild
man.
because you can sit there and try to like you said, you can sit down and try to have an intelligent conversation with somebody who disagrees with you, and it's like, okay, well, you're calling me apparently a neo-Nazi, racist, fascist, ethno-state, KKK supporting whatever. What have I done that supports any of these things? 'Cause I disagree with all of them, but I'm still not.
I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way, and yeah, I use fucking bad words. I say retarded shit. But dude,
You feel imperfect.
I'm so fucking fed up with this. I'm so fucking fed up with this that, like, it's you used to be able to go sit at the fucking bar and just talk shit out. Talk shit out. That's where we hash shit out. That's where they fucking decided to write the Declaration of Independence and fucking perform the fucking Boston Tea Party. Like, that's where we do things. That's where we as men get together, sit down, and hash shit out and learn to get along.
Oh,
No?
dude, one of my favorite moments of the past 4 years was I wasn't even saying that I really supported Trump, and to be blunt, there's quite a few things that Trump did that I really did not support.
Yeah, me
Same
too.
here, man. Same here.
Yeah, it's like I don't blindly support somebody simply because, oh, they're my party and not the other one. It's like, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You might do things I agree with, and you might do things I disagree with. If you do something I disagree with, I'm sure as shit gonna call your ass out. Like, I'm not a blind tribalist.
Absolutely, man.
But I had someone. I was just talking about. This was several years ago, but I was talking about something Trump was doing, and I was like, yeah, I think it was in regards to like the border wall or something like that. And they were like, oh, you're just it's like you're just a xenophobic Nazi. Da da da. It's like, why do you think I'm a Nazi? You want a border wall? I don't advocate for trying to judge people based on their ethnicity. I don't advocate for trying to invade other countries. And by the way, I'm also not a socialist. And I just got this blank stare. It was one of the most bizarre things. Just like,
Right? I
Hitler
ain't trying
wasn't
to
a
kill.
socialist.
I ain't trying to kill Mexicans. I just don't want them fucking crossing my goddamn border illegally.
Dude, I don't care if somebody wants to immigrate to the country. I just want you to do it legally. Like, I just want a vetting process.
Exactly.
That's it.
Both my grandparents and my parents immigrated here, or what would it be, emigrated? Well, they immigrated here legally, and they had to wait. I believe my grandparents had to wait like fucking 10 years, and my mom and dad had to wait like, I don't know, it was like 6 years or something like that before they could do it. And I was raised to be a proud fucking American, man. And I'm very proud to be in this goddamn country. And I respect the living shit out of our Constitution. And seeing these people shit all over it really fucking gets me, man. It really fucking gets me.
It really hurts you when you see that. I was raised.
It does.
It does hurt. My father and I, we had to stand up in our living room at at night, the TV, when the television would go off air, because it did do that at one time. You had 3 channels, and then it went off around midnight. But that was the last thing that they did, was the national anthem. And if my dad, boy, you had to stand up in the living room. And
I make Auntie Cat. I make my kids stand up, because we watch hockey a lot. We don't have to stand up for the Canadian national anthem. Sorry if there's any Canadians in the audience. Y'all aren't a real fucking country. But when they play the American national anthem, we fucking stand up.
I was raised to have pride. My father served in 2 wars, and there was nothing else accepted. You're gonna have respect, and if you didn't, well, you just better keep it to yourself. But we had to stand up, and I remember watching him. We'd go to different events that would be going on. Mostly either a boxing or wrestling or something, where that would always be the beginning. And I would look at him, and I would always see his eyes messed up. And I didn't really understand it until I really got older. But it was because, of reflection. And he had honor. And he was proud of this country. And his kids were
He was a good boy.
Yeah.
He was a good boy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm Boo. This is the first time I've met you, so I wanted to interrupt and say hi. And actually, I'm glad you're on because my dad fought in Korea.
Mine too.
Okay, so yeah, I was wondering how you felt about the change in the attitudes towards China, and then I wanted to lead that into something else. What I actually came on to talk about.
I really don't know. I don't know what the attitude toward China is. I mean, I know what my attitude is. But
Right. I get that, but I'm just saying, like, from the what you see externally being put towards you from in the 50s, from the 50s to where we're at now, to where we're pretty much kowtow to China.
Right, and now it's embarrassing. To be honest.
Yeah.
It's
You are
embarrassing.
absolutely 100% correct.
Yeah,
It's humiliating, and
And embarrassing.
yeah, very embarrassing. And I don't think men like my father and those who fought in World War II in Korea could get through this. I don't.
Yeah, I think they would see everything like we got a bunch of traitors.
Yeah,
And I really think that in the long, because I look at, like, I've been a big fan of, well, I don't say a big fan, but I've been reading diplomatic shit since I was about 12. I was just raised on that shit. And so I look at things in this really, decades long term and thing. And it's almost like they waited until that generation was either too old to do anything about it or mostly died off.
Exactly.
To really go in full
That's
force.
it, dude.
that's it right there. You're
Because now we have the generation dying out who has seen the evil shit and the horrificness of what communism brings, and you're ushering in a generation who's never known anything except for pro-communist propaganda.
Right, it's almost like they're the gimme generation,
Yeah.
and that's what I tell my grandchildren is, you need to listen if you are lucky enough to come across someone who served in the wars of II in Korea, and even Vietnam. You better sit down and listen to what they got to say, because they'll teach you a lot, and they'll.
Hey, Auntie Cat.
Yes, baby.
My grandpa on my dad's side served in Korea and Vietnam, and then my grandfather on my mom's side, 98 years old, served in World War II.
I would love to talk to someone again, at my age now, just to really absorb what they have to tell us.
My dad was he was an Army engineer. He was a warrant officer in the engineer corps.
Wait, was he in Korea?
Yeah, in Korea. He was.
My granddad might have been.
He was with the 1st Division. He was some of the soldiers that were left behind with the 1st Division.
In Chosen?
To hold off the 10 Chinese divisions.
My granddad might have been in the same division as yours.
My dad had nothing but disdain for our kowtowing to any communism. I grew up in the 80s. I graduated in 93, at the end of the Cold War. And I was raised on, what's taught today is just, it's a mirror image.
It's night and fucking
It's a mirror image of what I grew up
it is.
on. And,
It's disgusting.
So anyway, it was leading into what I actually came on to talk about was, with this thing going on in Afghanistan now. And we have China, who now everyone keeps talking about, like, China's bringing the military in, and that's not actually what's happened. And diplomatically speaking, what's happened and what, the thing that's been put on the table is that China is basically going to cock block the embargoes and cock block the in the international, like in the UN and shit like that. Protest. But they haven't
I've said this before. China's actually very smart because
I don't know.
They're not bringing
I don't
in
know
the guns.
what China is. All I know is China.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Real quick. China
All I can think
isn't,
about is the virus.
China isn't bringing in the guns. They're bringing in suits and ties so that they can establish a business relationship, because that's what China does. And China's actually very smart about that. They know that it's much easier, and they're actually learning from our example. You can win a war very easily if you have a stronger economy than whoever you're fighting against.
They're using capitalism against us.
Oh,
That's
there's
exactly
also
what we're
the
doing.
example. There's a model in their own history of the treasure voyages of the 15th century. The Indian Ocean fleet that tamed the tributary vassal status of many kingdoms, principalities, etc. around the Indian Ocean. However, they did resort to violence a number of times. They did resort to force. Most notably, there was an invasion of a kingdom in Sri Lanka that had refused to become a tributary, that had refused to pay tribute. And that was the Ming Kota War, which you can look up on Wikipedia.
Well, but it's
It
dangerous.
resulted in
to
the
try to-
installation of a more compliant vassal.
but
I've got an Afghanistan update, and it's a disaster that's going to piss fucking everybody off.
Oh,
The State
no.
Department just released a notice. They just released a notice to tell everybody in the Kabul airport to fucking evacuate because they have a credible threat. Are you fucking serious?
Against
Where are
the
they going to
airport
go?
itself. So there's
Yes.
there's going to be no more
So
evacuation.
now where are they going to go?
That's my question.
Where are they going to fucking go?
Hanging up the meat
Dude,
grinders,
this is
fam.
such a fucked up situation.
And they could flee into Kush the Pamirs. I don't know.
Well, and here's the weird fucking thing. There's private organizations trying to get all the Christians out of fucking Afghanistan right now. Because
Yes.
you want to
Did
talk
you
about
hear
who's
about those-
really
did-
in
hey.
danger right now? And Glenn Beck is being shut down everywhere he goes by the fucking State Department. By our
Did you hear
government.
about those
They're
fucking
shutting him down.
ex-soldiers?
Yes.
Soldiers that were running
Operation
like a fucking
Pineapple
underground railroad.
Express.
Mm-hmm.
Operation
Express, there you
Pineapple
go, you know.
Express. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, hey, Dahan, you fucking know what's up, man. I fucking like you, bro. Yeah, all right.
You
And the
know.
thing is, those weren't even active duty military. They were mostly
Oh, they
vets.
were all ex-military guys.
Yeah, they were vets.
Yeah, they
No.
were all vets, so they weren't even on duty. They had no obligation to do this. They just did it because
they
you know what they.
I think
They
they
swore
were
an oath.
accessing like cameras and shit too. Like I think that it was a fucking
well,
it was a
also
whole
we have
mission these guys
we also have special forces that are basically just disobeying orders and saying like, yeah, you know, screw you. We swore an oath, so.
Those are
It-
good boys, man. Those are good fucking boys, man.
No, I don't disagree with you. I brought this up on Mad Dodge's channel the other day, and I'd like to hear what you guys say because I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible, and it's really
We're
fucking
fucked.
difficult.
We're
So
fucked.
I have to wonder this: is this blatant incompetence? That's what I would like to believe.
Intentional incompetence, or what?
It does make me wonder: is there?
Plan,
Is this actually done intentionally?
method to the madness.
Hey, man,
Well, that's
And
the
of course
I
Occam's
would
it's
love.
that's the
I
Occam's
It's
would
razor.
Hanlon's
love-
razor, guys. Or
That's the Occam's
Hanlon's
razor answer, isn't it?
It's
I would-
Hanlon's razor.
Occam's
Oh, okay.
razor.
Hanlon.
What's Hamlin?
Hanlon. Hanlon's razor. Never attribute to malice, which you can easily attribute to incompetence. The
Yeah.
sad truth is,
Okay,
everybody in Biden's fucking campaign, in his cabinets, these are all fucking yes men who just know how to say the right things. They
But
don't
the
know
thing
what
is,
the
I
fuck to
don't-
do.
I don't believe that though, because even people within Biden's own administration said, look, you don't pull out the military, you don't leave fully functional equipment, you sure as hell don't leave behind munitions, and oh, by the way, we have pictures of them leaving behind cash. You can't tell me it's too expensive to throw cash on a frickin' C-17 and bring it back to the United States and just leave it in the hand of the fucking enemy.
We gotta stop saying fucking Biden's name like he has anything to do with this, because he does not.
Dude, Biden's a
does not
Manchurian.
have-
Yeah, Biden's a Manchurian candidate.
He's
Like,
not
literally.
a fucking man. I don't think he's got a fucking chip in his fucking head that they're controlling him with, but he's just there to be a fucking face
Well,
for their
when
organizations.
When I say Biden is a Manchurian candidate, what I mean is that he's a puppet. He's just there as a figurehead, but he's not really the one in control. He's not the one pulling the strings. And to be honest, neither is Kamala Harris,
I
because
think
we already
it's
know she
fucking
was saying you're not
Jill.
going to pin this shit
I
on me.
think this is Jill fucking Biden, man. You know, the first teachers
Think it's
union
Jill?
president. Yes, Because it's
Yeah, I think so,
moronic.
too.
It's
I think
got-
we're seeing a
no offense
more
to Tema or
McKinley.
Kathy, but this has got like women written all over it.
It's got dumb bitch written all over it.
It does, doesn't it, man?
does.
I'm sorry. I just
Excuse my mouth.
shit.
I'm sorry,
Look.
Miss Aunt Kathy.
Look,
Hold on, I
this
think
is-
Aunt Kathy's
what
trying to
we're-
talk, y'all. Hold on.
I'll mute myself.
It does have dumb bitch written all over it.
All right. Historically
Sure.
speaking, we have precedents for this. Warren McKinley goes in, gets all laid out. His wife stands there, doesn't let anyone see him, goes in, starts signing shit for him that is radical shit for our government policies that never got undone. And I think we're seeing the same shit here where Joe Biden's just out there all doped up and his wife back behind his back just doing everything. She's his handler.
Yeah, I do. She does seem to be more in control than he
You know,
is.
she was in the car with Joe when they were chasing his wife, and his wife and daughter were killed driving into that truck, right? And they were
Right.
chasing her down.
So
Like,
Who
this
was?
is a dark story. Jill
So,
Biden.
here's
Joe
my
Biden.
theory, 'cause I
Okay,
wanna-
Joe Biden.
wanna-
His wife was his babysitter when his wife died, and when his
No,
wife found
I
out,
didn't
she
know
took
that.
off with her kid, with the daughter that the first kid that died was a daughter, and they chased her down the highway, and she drove into the back of a truck. Now,
Is
because
that
Biden's
true?
powerful, Biden's powerful,
Yeah,
Biden
I
got
think
the truck.
yeah.
Biden got the truck driver charged with the
DUI.
death.
Yeah.
With the
Driver.
death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was found not
And
guilty,
so-
though. He never served any time in jail or anything.
Right. But that's just, by then, this is limited hangout. By then, no one's looking at Joe anymore. Joe,
Yeah.
let's move on. He's mourning. How dare you, bring this like late old shit to this guy who's mourning his wife and kid, just like with his son.
These
Well,
motherfuckers are worse than the Kennedys, and I actually like the
So
Kennedys.
Jill Biden is a conniving bitch. If you look at her oh man, what's it called? Her dissertation for her
Doctorate in
PhD.
education.
Yeah, her doctorate. Her math doesn't even add up.
No.
The math doesn't even add up. It was just, written off as, because she's a handler. This is a work.
It does seem like she's all over this, and has been. But because when he first came in about all the teachers and the schools, and it seemed to be more of a focus than anything. And that would have been her, not him, because I think he forgot what school looked like.
So it's one of the few places he always wants to be. He's going to want the
So
schools
that's
full of
Dr.
kids.
President to you.
Train in the ice cream shop.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why my grandson came home telling me he's gonna be a rogue.
Oh my god! I heard you say that.
That's funny.
Well, and before he was gonna be a marine biologist.
That's
So
a
we
drink.
went from
Wait,
highly
hey,
intelligent to
it's a cat. Before we go on, how'd you like the fucking pizza, man?
I told them I loved it. I ate the whole pepperoni.
That's some good shit, huh?
Yeah, it was. I ate the whole thing. And
Right?
you send her,
Fuck
man?
on. I'm glad you liked it. You're feeling better, right?
I am doing better. Today I
Right
actually,
on. I
Yeah.
love you, darling. You're
I love you
good
too.
in my book every day.
You're just a doll to me. I just love, and I love the way you say darling. It just takes me back in time.
Yeah, and I'm from the ghetto in Chicago, the literal ghetto.
I'm going to forgive you for that. I'm going to forgive you for that. Thank God you didn't say China. I might have had a problem with that one.
That's right.
Hey, my nigga.
Well, I can't wait to meet you. He's supposed to be coming to see me when he travels past where I'm living.
Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm going down
Like,
to
what part of the
Florida. I'm
country
going
are
down
you
to
from?
Florida, guys, and
And
I'm
I'm
gonna
in
pass through Georgia, and I'm gonna go stop at Auntie Cat's
Yes, I told him
for a few days.
he needs to rest anyway. When you drive too long, it's not good for you.
See, one of my shows is all about Appalachian comfy. So that's why I like you, man, because you're just like right in that comfy zone. You get it.
I hope he better stop, or I don't want to have to get on the interstate and just look for somebody that looks like him. to help them get there.
Oh no, I'm totally doing it. Like, I'm totally doing it. I just went through a fucking divorce 7 months, 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Got my camper, got my truck.
Well, see, I know what to look for then, don't I?
Yeah, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I'm moving to Florida. I'm gonna hit Clearwater, and then I'm hitting St. Augustine first, and then I'm going down to Clearwater. But yeah, it's a new adventure. Me and my dog.
Clearwater's interesting.
I don't like Clearwater, but I love St. Augustine.
It looks beautiful. I've never been to St. Augustine. I've been down by like Tampa and Clearwater before, but yeah, I've never been to St. Augustine. The architecture's absolutely gorgeous. So
Yeah, in St.
I'm looking
Augustine.
forward to it.
Yeah, I took my daughter there when she was like 3. To what they have this is one of the oldest Catholic church. You know, I don't know history about it, because if I did, I forgot what it was. But anyway, we were going through there, and I just decided to see if they could get the little devil out of her. Well, they were busy. So anyway, I just got some of the water, and I sprinkled her. I paid $2, one candle for each side of the church, because they have 2. You know, like they had the side for Mary and the side for Jesus. So I just went ahead and covered both bases. Then I bought a bottle of their holy water from their gift shop, and I sprinkled her from the front. And she had a meltdown like you wouldn't believe. But she brought that little devil back home with her. It took about 10 years to get it out of her. But I brought an extra bottle home with me just in case I needed to break it open one day.
That's right.
Oh shit!
Never know.
I fucking believe it. I
But I
fucking
do
believe
love
it.
St. Augustine, even though they weren't real good about getting the devil out of her. But I did enjoy St. Augustine. It's beautiful
Yeah,
beaches.
it's a beautiful little town, or a beautiful little city.
Yeah, I love it. The Lions Bridge, and I love the way the trees all lean in one direction on the beach. That is.
Hey, I
Alright,
gotta
so-
ask you guys, can you hear the fucking gunshots?
No, I'm
I can't.
not shooting nobody right now.
Virgin's in here, so is Object
No, they're
in the
shooting.
green
They're
room.
shooting in my neighborhood.
Oh,
I'm giving my wife a dab. I'm sorry. I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yeah,
There's some,
okay.
there's some fucking shooting going on. Probably about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 blocks away. Somebody's
pretend to be
shooting
a
at
rug.
somebody.
listen.
Well, then let's all shut up for a moment and see if we can hear.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh,
They're
we
count
killed audio.
bullets.
Hold on. It stopped.
Oh,
I thought for sure you guys would be able to hear that, man. It sounds like fireworks, but it's not. I can tell the difference, man. I'm a professional
Yeah.
gun instructor.
Well, pretend to be a rug. Get on the floor and just lay there.
horrifying.
I'm
but
good to go.
also
I'm good to go. I'm
It
sitting
sounds
out there
Kathy
with
knows
the
how to bring it back
salami.
around, right?
Fascinating.
I like that. She's
What's that?
Aunt Kathy's a natural. She brought it back around to the rug thing.
Yeah, just lay on the floor. Get the bullets over you.
Yeah, she is. Dude, Aunt
She's a
Kathy,
natural,
Auntie
man.
Kath. Auntie Kat is one of my favorite fucking people on the planet. I'm so glad we found her. I'm
I
so
am
glad
too,
she
man.
talks to us, and I'm so glad she hangs out, man, because it's fucking awesome. I love this woman.
I just adore all of y'all. Y'all just make my day.
Aunt Kathy, you're the hero. You're the hero we didn't ask for, but you are the hero we need.
It got
Yes,
Needed
ma'am.
ya.
it got lonely up in here talking to myself all the time.
I hear you.
Even though I even argued with myself back then, but Lord, I always won, so it really wasn't no fun.
Shit.
That's the truth.
Hey, I gotta grab another fucking beer, guys. Give me a fucking minute. But hey, I'm gonna leave this shit on. See if you can hear the fucking shots.
Well, you
They're
better
not
pretend to
far
be a
away.
rug. I'm telling you, get on the floor and be a rug. Take your gun
Fine,
with you.
man. I'm fine. Hey, Aunt Kathy.
Yes, baby doll.
Somebody shoots at me, I shoot back. I'm not a
Well,
fucking pussy.
There
You don't
go.
have to be. You can still be a rug and do that. Trust me. You can dual.
I'm sitting in the backyard.
It's called
I'm sitting in the backyard
multitasking.
behind the garage with my dog.
He's got a
Multi-
bush.
Motherfuckers, they know
His
better than to come in here.
multi-task.
Do you have your ficus tree to hide behind and carry with you? And like
Lay down on the
take your
ground
little
like a
ficus tree
rug.
out, like you make your little dun 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 dun
Take your
dun.
gun Yeah.
Right, I'm getting a beer. Fuck you guys.
Be a rug with a gun. Be a
I
rug
just
with a
seem
gun.
like, yeah, he's got like a shotgun and a tree.
Yeah, take it with you.
And he's just sneaking around.
I'm not going to lay down without the gun, for God's sake.
I'm going to throw a rock at him. That's what
I'm not throwing no rock. I got plenty of rocks. This is Georgia.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'll throw a rock at him. I'm a geologist. I got knives to throw rocks.
I don't want to throw a rock. I'm just going to have to shoot
Oh,
him.
I do. That's a fun game right there.
Throwing rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, no one expects that.
I throw a knife now. I can hit a target with a knife, but I don't know about a rock. I don't know if I
Good
can
evening,
hit
everyone.
anything.
Good evening, Object. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Boo.
I could show you. I could show you how to throw a rock real good and real fast and real accurate. And,
Well, you need-
and Kathy.
Come down and visit then, because I can't throw rocks very well, but
Yes,
can-
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I can flip a knife through the air.
I can show you how to throw like a girl and make it count.
That's what I want to know. Especially a rock. 'Cause there's so many rocks here, there's plenty of weapons laying around. All I
I'm
gotta
sorry
do
to
is
bring
just...
bad news, but I have more stuff on Afghanistan for you guys.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yes, Northern Command gave a great briefing today. Steve Bannon's been all over it. It appears that your 100,000 plus refugees who've been just flown in, they've been prepared for that for months. All that shit. The one thing they couldn't get right was keeping people safe in Afghanistan. Your own troops aren't safe, but they managed to get all the camps and all the shit. All that's all sorted, completely sorted. That's been ready for months and months and months. So the incompetence is there is incompetence, but the incompetence isn't where most people think it is. This is
Okay,
deliberate,
well,
and it does sound like Jill Biden is pulling strings.
That is information I did not have prior, so I
Yeah.
was speaking from previous information.
Anyone who thinks that this isn't a fucking arms deal is a retard.
Yep. Agreed.
Kind of looked like
There's
one.
definitely huge component.
Yeah,
to
I
that,
said, I
yes.
called it. I told you, man. It's Occam's razor, man. The simplest answer is that this is deliberate and it's treason.
Right. Well, who's
That's the
benefited the most
simplest
from all
answer.
this shit? All right, Andrew Cuomo's benefited from this. We're not. The press is acutely focused on this shit now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of misdirection here, right? And the budget was part of it, and that keeps getting shot down or some shit. $5 trillion.
Jesus.
Yeah, no one's
Are
talking
you
about the
serious?
infrastructure bill now, are they?
No, they're not.
This is treason, and this was deliberate, and this was well planned.
And it's scary.
And it's cost you 13
Angering.
Marines. The first dead since February 2020.
Hmm.
That's absolutely
And-
disgusting.
I'm gonna if my kids, if any of my, I don't want my children to go fight anywhere. My son tried to join the military for years, and I told him everything in the world I could tell him to keep him from going. Trust me, that's a story I'll tell you another time. But that's scary to me. It's scary.
Yeah, I'm a Marine. I have two brothers that are Marines. One of my brothers did 6 different sniper. I think he did 6 different sniper ops at Afghanistan.
Mm.
My brother was a Marine. My brother was a Marine. He
As
did
far
his
as like
military as well.
what our government's done around the world, I am familiarly, acutely aware of that.
Yeah.
Like my family's actually fought in every war this country's had. Like my great uncle whatever was a captain in Washington's army.
Isn't that something about families that seems to work that way? I was trying to track down, my father's side, and I noticed that was one thing they all had in common. They all fought. They all were military.
Yeah.
It's like each generation produced someone else.
What's your duty? And that's what we was raised on, was essential
Yeah.
duty.
Except for me.
No
I'm
matter,
hanging on the line.
now this is a duty to your countrymen.
Right.
And all
They,
the
they
people
put
that
their
are in
asses on
control
the
now-
line for their country. Right.
Yeah. What regardless of your politics, And that's what I grew up on as the beautiful thing about America. Okay, I was the first. I was the first what you would call conservative in either side of my family ever, and I went way conservative more than Republicans because I was like, they're not conservative, not for me. Because the definition of conservatism was to preserve the
Freedom.
kingdom, preserve the monarchy, and to preserve the empire. That's where conservatism came from, and it's just been redefined and redefined and repurposed and repurposed. But I'm an imperial monarchist. But I serve my country. I still consider my countrymen, regardless of what my political leanings are. And we are now, in a position to where the people who are in the critical places of power are completely counter to that sense of freedom, to that sense of, well, it doesn't really matter what you believe or don't believe. And no, they're telling you.
Doesn't that make you fucking sick, man?
They're telling you this is what, like with CRT. That's why I bring this point up to this show in particular, because I look at this show like you guys do CRT now, but really you guys are like a counter propaganda show. Whereas
because we break down the philosophy behind it rather than just the attack point.
Right. So I don't limit your show to just CRT. I think that's just a topic, not that's not what you do. Just like on with Gulag, that's a more of like a commie historical,
Right.
And we do a show to show you how communists kill people.
Yeah.
It all kind of intermingles brilliantly.
So because the thing with China and like with people, I think I was saying this on my show Thursday. Now I'm have exclusively been covering Afghanistan hardcore. Like I like to pride myself was I'm pretty sure I got the most upfront coverage of what's going on over there in my two shows, like than what's on YouTube, because I couldn't find that footage on YouTube. And usually we aim for like 50, 60, 70 dead bodies that we actually see in an episode throughout the show is what that's a good night. And
that's a good night, yeah.
Yeah. And that night we achieved that in about, I think I counted it in a minute and 15 seconds. Okay. That's just how brutal that shit is over there. Now, and I think that people, when they talk about what China's going to go in and they're going to go in like we were, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Because China...
No, they're just going to move in like they did in Africa. They're going to set up fucking...
No, see, this is much different than Africa. Because with Islam, you have ISIS and you have the Taliban. Now, the Taliban...
That sounds like fucking Virgie. Is Virgie in here?
Now,
yes, I am, Roots. How's it hanging, buddy?
The Taliban, if you were to compare Islam to like socialism...
Oh, good to hear you, man.
You could say that the Taliban is like national socialism. And ISIS is globalist socialism.
Oh, I just looked at chat.
Now, when it comes to the Chinese question.
Now, with the Chinese question, they are atheists. And that's destroying a local religion is just part of what they do, part of that subversion. And the Taliban came out of the invasion of one communist to be born in the first place. And I don't think that relationship is going to pan out like what we're hearing, like just as part of the talking head.
Well,
no.
Stand by the ideology.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah, that's why I was saying in the
communist,
beginning.
If you're a true communist, there can be no God above the state.
No, the state is your God. That's what communism is.
No, I agree, but
they don't allow religion, man. The state is fucking God.
I'm an atheist, basically a Satanist, but like the state is your God in communism. But my biggest question is, as a human man, Afghanistan is a treasure trove of lithium, alkaline, and copper. As a guy who loses constant work due to microchip storage, we're just handing this over to China right now.
I mean, China makes all the fucking microchips, so doesn't that help the shortage?
So I have a question.
China doesn't make our microchips, guys.
But
Taiwan makes almost every processing chip in every board.
And yeah, we have a few plants in Mexico that do it too. We used to have plants here in my local town that made microchips for everything we need.
Yeah, thank you, EPA. Anyway, go ahead.
I do have a question for you guys and gals, because this is kind of just my little pet theory. So I'd be curious to see what you think. if you're going to leave all of these weapons behind, normally in a well thought out and conducted withdrawal, you would not leave behind munitions. You would disable the vehicles. I don't see why there's any reason you're leaving behind the aircraft that you could literally fly to the other country that's right next door, and leave them completely operational, knowing that you've actually trained people how to use them. Yeah, Taliban's already shown that they can do that. And by the way, all the people on Twitter is like, oh, but Trump was going to surrender to the Taliban. Do you know the difference between Taliban and ISIS? Okay, they're not the same.
But hold on.
The Taliban died too.
Define
it's fucking charity, man. Why wouldn't you give fucking planes to the goddamn? Why wouldn't you give planes to poor people?
I want to hear what Tim has to say, and then I'm gonna ask my question.
I'll just say,
How
where's
the
my
hell
Apache
did we
helicopter?
get-
All right.
I know,
Abort.
right? You can actually buy them in auction. It's okay. They come in a box and you have to put them back together. It's a really big box, though. I'm not buying.
No, more specifically, I'm wondering, leaving behind the weapons is one thing, but you left behind not just cash, but all the munitions as well, and trained personnel.
Beyond that,
man.
We left behind 15,000
Do y'all not
Americans.
realize that we're trying to get away from that police of the world moniker, and we're trying to become charitable organization of the world?
Yeah, dude, you gotta give the poor people Blackhawks, or else we're fucking evil.
Okay, so my question is this. We already know the history of Afghanistan. We've seen how well Russia fared. We've seen how
dude, they were just
fared.
brave mujahideen. That's all it was.
So I'm wondering. What I'm wondering is
This is the mujahideen.
knowing
The
that-
Taliban
knowing-
is what they started out as.
So
That's
knowing this,
the
knowing
joke
that
I'm
China,
making.
knowing that China is going to come in.
Okay, that's a really stupid assumption.
Oh no, China's going to come in because China has an interest in Afghanistan. They've expressed it.
China's
So-
absolutely moving into the Middle East.
I don't think they're
so my-
going to move in. I think they're just going to trade with them.
They're going to
Yeah, because they just trade with Africa, right?
They're going to get mineral rights. That's what they're
So-
going to do.
Well,
And
here's
that's
the
what
thing: is
that's how they're
Afghanistan
going
has
to
a
take
border.
them over, Virgie, huh? They're just going to turn them into
share-
fucking slaves like they did the
They
African
share a
continent.
border with
But
China.
hold on.
Afghanistan.
Probably, because
My
they
question-
don't really have any like moral values or anything holding them
No, they're
back
gun
from that.
replicators.
Hold on. My question is this: if we're leaving behind all of these weapons, do you think it's possible that we just want to see how well our weapons stack up and how well?
That is the most charitable thought I've ever heard.
No.
I would be curious.
Hang on.
I would like to know if anybody thinks that we just want to see how effective these weapons actually are in the hands of someone who's actually going to sit down and
Well,
go to
hold
sit
on.
down and throw their.
No,
throw their
I do not
I
think that.
I can explain why it would be in Afghanistan's interest to keep those weapons intact. Do you guys know what Afghanistan is known for on the black market besides heroin or opium?
Sex slaves?
No, they're actually known for replica guns from replica historical guns.
So you think they're gonna sell them?
No, they make receivers for AK-47s.
They make shit,
AK-47 receivers.
and they make shit that is so good it will fucking fool appraisers in America. Okay, these guys
I've
are
heard
good
that.
at copying any kind of gun you hand them, and you
So
just
they're-
handed them a fuck ton of fucking weapons they get to copy. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? They're going to burn down the poppy fields as soon as they can, and then they're going to, I don't know what else they're going to do because the Taliban have always hated the poppy fields. Always hated the poppy fields. Okay.
Poppy is haram.
That's the answer I actually
It's
didn't.
Salah.
That's the answer I didn't actually want.
Virgie is
to hear.
haram.
No,
I
actually,
am
the poppy-
absolutely fucking haram. There's a fatwa on this goddamn dog.
Oh,
Excuse me, the
actually-
poppy
I'm
fields were
haram, but I
haram
wanna
for
hear
about
it.
3
Bud
years.
Light.
See,
Then
the thing
the
is, would
The poppy
actually
fields
have
were around for
preferred-
3 years. Then it was over. They didn't have any money. The farmers were in revolt. They had to let the poppy fields were let back in by 1999. This did not that did not last long. That ban.
So
and
unless
now
they develop a Department of Agriculture.
Yeah,
Object,
which
I did
is
not expect you
they're
to
asking
sound
for
so
that.
proper. I did not expect you to sound so proper. Kudos.
What do you
Thank you.
Man, that's my
I would
partner,
actu-
man. Of course
I
it's
would
proper.
I would actually have liked the answer of no, we're going to use this as another proxy war to test our weapons, because that would have been more preferable to the answer of
It's treason.
yeah, we basically just gave
Yeah, it's
God knows
treason.
who.
We're
Lord
looking at
knows what
potentially-
No,
military
but think
tech.
about this. All right, so
And
the
this-
flip side of that is that, all right, so while that shit has to be replaced, the military-industrial complex, will make more. Right?
I mean,
So
Dude,
it puts money in their pockets. I mean,
Just saying.
follow the moolah.
Just saying.
You know, we're
Moolah.
being staged for a forever war. We're being
I had
staged
to
for
wait
that.
like 6 months to get my fucking AR because goddamn, because the bolt carrier group was fucking on back order because the goddamn Marines were getting fucking new bolt carriers for all these goddamn rifles they left in fucking Afghanistan.
Virgie, move to a red state. I can
Can I
have one in
give
a week.
And
Can
I
I
get
can
what
I
you're
propose
saying.
a scary
You were in fucking
scary version of this?
Hold on, bro. Can I
West
just
Virginia,
can I just
Virgie?
I'm in
Hold on, one at a
Virginia,
time, y'all.
Virginia. I'm not even cousin fuck Virginia.
Bro, Northam.
Can I just
So,
say something real quick?
Hmm,
Irene,
okay.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, the military-industrial complex. Yeah, I get it. They're gonna make more weapons, and they're gonna tax us to pay for it because, yeah, all those weapons that are over there. Yeah, we paid for it. I want a refund. But we're not just talking about M16s, M4s, or whatever. They have freaking Black Hawks and light attack
Exactly.
helicopters, and Lord knows what type of electronic capabilities over there. And oh, by the way, all those Afghan soldiers.
It's really funny that
intelligent.
anybody thinks that this shit hasn't been going on since fucking the Iran Contra shit, dude.
No, it's been going on for a while, but this is going to be
started in Vietnam.
But that's not my point.
This
It's
is
like
just the first time
kinda-
we get to see it up front and up close.
Oh, and that's
Okay.
the thing.
They've
It's
done
so
deals
bad.
like
we
this
just gave
before.
them. We just gave them so much technology that, yeah, I know. Yeah, sure, you're going to have some people from the Afghan military who defected to the Taliban that know how to use these weapons. But you're going to have people who, let's just use China as the example, who are very well known for back engineering technology. Well, guess what? Now they have Black Hawks, light attack aircraft.
Our
Well, they got all
drones-
that from Israel already
Our
anyway.
drones.
A
They
couple
already
of
got
things.
that, they already
Shit
got all
like
that
that.
from Israel anyway. They don't
A
need
couple
that.
of things.
from
What they're
Israel.
really,
Yeah.
what they're
Laptops we
really
left
trying
behind.
to get is stealth technology.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
stealth aircraft are not stealth at all.
Can I-
India busted that shit.
The Chinese have
now-
had Black Hawks for 30 years. Do you know
So-
that?
So can I
Yes,
offer a
they've had
scary
actual
Taliban
like a
has
copy of the
stealth
Black
shit.
Hawk.
Exactly.
No,
my
they,
point.
no, they got the civilian version. They bought the civilian version in the 80s, and they now their version is pretty much your version,
Exactly.
but with their own electronics.
Yeah.
Now, Doku.
The other
But
thing
now
is,
they actually have our electronics.
please be careful. Do not fall for the Taliban PR, and this is a huge PR operation at the moment. They're doing all kinds of stuff, and look, you're all worried about all these weapons. A lot of the advanced stuff, they have no idea how to use it, none whatsoever, and they have no way of maintaining most of the gear. And a lot of their, by the way, a lot of the Air Force, those people who did know how to fly, flew to Tajikistan and to
Yeah, they already flew
Uzbekistan
out.
and places. They've flown out.
I don't
And
know.
they're
if
not
I-
coming
That's
back.
why
I
there
don't
was
know
no
if I
air.
believe that, man.
Yeah, that's why
I
there
wish
was
I
no
could
air
drag
support.
Carl in
Most
here to
fucking
explain
arms
all
are
this to
small
you.
arms.
Well,
The
we're
small
just
arms,
speaking
that
towards
you've got 500. You shipped 500,000 small arms over the last 20 years to Afghanistan. 500,000. That's nearly as many weapons as the U.S. Army has
Now,
All right.
in small arms.
might I
All right.
interject?
Who here would rather use
Hey, Trippy.
automatic fire or selective fire? Because
Dude, that's
I
not the
would
point.
always
That's
rather
not the
fire
point.
single
Selective.
shot.
That's not
Selective.
the fucking point. The point is we gave a bunch of weapons to him, and the bigger point is Doku brought tax money. It's all about the military-industrial complex. We just
Oh, shit,
armed
it is.
the next
Dude, there were
fuckers we're
fucking
gonna
pits.
fight in 10
There
fucking
were-
years.
So,
we just gave them the
fucking pits where
weapons
they were
we
burning
need
tanks
to go
and
But
back
that's-
in 10
shit.
fucking
I mean, you
years.
act like that's not an American tradition. We always arm the people
is
we're
an
gonna fight in
American
10 years.
tradition. It's a repeated
That's how we
process.
keep fighting them so effectively,
We're gonna
because we
be
gave them the
there
guns.
In 10 years. In 10
Hey,
years, we're
Virgin,
gonna be there again.
America.
America, fuck yeah.
Okay,
Well,
this
This
is
is a
overwhelming.
non-stop ending process in the Middle East. In 10 years, we're going to be there again. So the same fuckers who made money off this, well, regular guys like us, die left and right for no fucking reason, can go back and make billions upon millions of dollars, while more guys like us die for no fucking reason.
Want to
mean,
know why they just
they
said
die
to
first so the
evacuate
billionaires
the
can
only
make
place
more money.
These people have been hiding. Oh, you guys have to evacuate the only place you had left to
I
hide.
can't fucking swear. I can't say bad words, right?
I can't either, and I'm
Don't-
really, really upset about it. But I
So-
really want to know how the hell
Damn.
did we
You
get
can't
to
say
that
bad.
point,
You
man?
can't say bad words, but you can say cocksucker.
Well, then the
Okay.
cocksuckers
No
are
hard
your
R's or
cocksuckers.
agate.
Goddamn damn fuckers.
15,000 to 30,000 Americans behind.
that's a lot of hostages. And what's the
Yeah.
scary version? Can I give the scary version? Kind of like the way I could see this could go.
Oh, dude, please.
Not saying it's
Talking
going to
about
go,
Kabul right now.
but you know, these politically, or you look at religiously, or how
Yeah.
these things form out. These are like akin
Lost a
to
lot of
akin
friends,
to
man,
the
over
same
past few
Al-Qaeda
years. This
and the
shit.
same ISIS that went into Libya and took over Libya after that debacle.
Yeah, the
And-
problem is that
and they had-
Afghanistan
they
is
had
more
an open
economically
air-
important.
They had an open air. They had immediately an open air slave auctions for like the locals that were still there, were people left behind us, whoever wasn't them. You know, and we've got 10 to 15,000 potential slaves to make Afghan owning slaves as a status symbol.
Yeah.
Now we
Yeah,
also
we had the
we've
free-
also
think about
now we
that.
just got this. There was a very
Those
imminent
boy
threat.
fucking-
Well, we also gave them the artillery power to and the ability that they do know how to use to flatten that airport and destroy. And they got us to put all of our assets that are there in one place
In the airport, and now they have nowhere
to be
else to
flattened
go.
with artillery. So
Yeah.
let's say they flatten the artillery. They take the names that the State Department handed to them. They go round them up. They just start slave auctioning them off.
And the
What do-
worst
what-
thing is, our
We're not going to be
administration
able to go back and
gave
recover
them
that.
A list.
Hang on.
A
I got a
fucking
good
list.
This is
question.
treason.
Man. I got a good question. Why
It is.
the fuck do we care? Let these motherfuckers come here. Most of us got mini bikes or go-karts or ATVs or F1 fucking 50s. I know all of us got fucking guns. Like,
I'm
let
on
them fucking
probation,
come here.
so
They
all my
don't stand a
guns are
fucking
lost in a
chance.
tragic boating accident. But it's not the point. You can't bring them here because culture is overwhelming. Okay, let's just say Americans don't have fucking kids. Most Americans don't have fucking kids nowadays. You can't replace your culture with someone else's fucking kids. That's not how that works.
They have kids.
I was muted. No, Roots wasn't necessarily saying that. I don't think. I think Roots was saying fuck them unless they come here. Like,
Yeah, we don't need to be there. We don't need to be there. Leave it alone. Get our people the fuck out of there. Stop fucking with them. Let them do their own fucking thing, and we'll be fucking fine, man. We'll be
Well,
fucking fine, because these motherfuckers do not.
well, if there wasn't this
wherewithal
little thing
to
called the
get here.
petrodollar.
Well, they don't
The
have
thing
the
is,
wherewithal to get here, but they do have the
True.
wherewithal to have a 10,000 strong American slave market.
But just
The thing is,
imagine we spent
Terrifying.
$2 trillion. If we spent $2 trillion in Alaska, we don't need fucking Afghanistan.
We don't
the
even
thing
need
is,
Nation
I
building.
agree with Roots. I
You
agree
don't?
with Roots. Like I don't give a damn what they do. What annoys me is all the weapons and munitions that we left over there. We paid for that as taxpayers, and you're telling me,
Yes,
oh, it's too
yes,
expensive
yes.
to bring it back. But you're going to sit there and say, oh, it's too expensive to bring all these munitions back. But you're not going to disable it. You're not going to blow up the munitions. You're not even going to bring back the cash. But you're doing this at the same time that you're talking about trying to spend $3.2 trillion on infrastructure, but you can't bring back the military equipment that we've already built, paid for, seen war.
They
You
shoved
can't bring
those
that back.
brand new fucking
Well,
AR.
here, I got you.
AR-10s, I
No,
believe.
hold
I
on,
believe
Roots,
they're
I got you.
AR-10s
I'll
up our
explain it.
ass.
it's more expensive because if we don't leave the guns for the future terrorists to have, then we won't know what guns that they have, and it'll be more expensive to fight the endless war in the future. So we give them the guns so we know what guns they have. And then the endless war is a little bit cheaper.
I've already sent 2 family members to do shit for Afghanistan in that war. I'm fucking done. I spent 20 years protesting the Afghan war because we were simultaneously running our war on drugs and protecting and controlling the largest source of heroin production in the world. Okay?
Yeah, well, how else is the CIA gonna fund black sites?
I know, well, the CIA needs
How
to
else
stop
is the
existing.
CIA gonna house black people?
You know, at a bare minimum, I don't. At a bare minimum,
I'm sick of sending my family over to do fucking useless shit. Stop this crap. I don't want to fucking be there.
You know what? Let's say we leave all our equipment over there. Okay, fine. It's too expensive to bring back. I don't buy into the fact that you can't afford to fly a Black Hawk helicopter to the next nearest friendly nation.
It literally is built to fly.
You gotta understand. Okay, now hold on. Wait. This is something I actually understand, and it was explained to me several times. Carl's broken it down, and he's former military. Okay. In the Air Force, these aircrafts, the big Achilles heel with a lot of American equipment is it requires so much maintenance. So the the Black Hawk has a 14-to-1 ratio. So that means it has 14 hours of maintenance for every hour that it flies. So it very well may be that the vast majority of Black Hawks they got are not operational. Now that doesn't make it any better that they have them, but at least they can't get them up in the air and start bombing people with them.
But we have video of them actually flying them.
Oh no, I know. I know. I
understand. I understand where you're coming from.
I'll fly over there and pick up all the guns, guys.
I
I'll
understand
do it. I
where you're
volunteer
coming.
myself.
I understand where you're coming from, Timma. But
I'm just pointing out the silver lining.
I get what you're coming from. I'm not trying to discount your point, and I get it. But I'm just saying I'm calling bullshit. Like you guys.
I'm not trying to discount your point, but I'm also calling bullshit.
No, he's not calling bullshit on me. He's not calling bullshit on me. He's calling bullshit on the government.
No, I'm calling bullshit on the way we withdrew it because all you have to do is drop a frag in it. Drop a frag in the cockpit. That's it.
And walk away.
Oh yeah.
Walk away.
But
they tried.
they didn't
Apparently,
shred
there's a
documents
B-52 mission
either.
to do that.
But they didn't shred documents or anything either. They
But
just
then they would have had to
We
pay
handed
like
them
an
documents.
explosive expert.
We
So
gave
you
them
gotta fill out a
documents, and we couldn't even bring out cash. Have you guys seen the video on Twitter where you see all the light machine guns, squad assault weapons? That's bad enough. But we left behind cash.
Yeah, I want those guns.
Cash.
I want them back. We paid for them.
Oh, that's the
We're
thing.
getting them back. We're getting them back. You just gotta bend over, think of London, and get your dick in the ass. That's how government works.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to tax.
There's not a true.
I don't want a tax refund at this point in time. I want my fucking Black Hawk helicopter. I paid for the damn thing. Where's my helicopter?
I can second that. Where's the petition to get a Black Hawk?
To work so much easier, but it ain't gonna happen. I gotta think of London.
Hey, Virgie, man, you want to go take classes?
This is how it works.
I have some more bad news for you, though, on all this.
It's gonna go to my grandchildren. That's how that fucking shit works. This government essentially fucking sucks.
And that's the thing. I know I'm not going to be able to afford the gas, but I still want the damn helicopter. It'll at least look pretty in my driveway.
Sure, but now we need to talk about hostages. Guys, we need to talk about hostages. Remember what happened in 1979? 1979, Iran goes Islamist. And all your technicians were there. All your equipment was over there, and they took hostages galore. And remember, but remember what and remember the media circus that lasted for all through the presidential election.
Right, Carter.
Every day they were talking about the hostages for it killed Carter's presidency.
It was the best.
They're
It was
going
the
to do
best advertisement for fucking Reagan ever. And then they found out that Reagan had negotiated a deal with them right after he got elected. Right?
Yeah.
You guys, you guys ever
That's
seen
going to
those
happen
videos?
again. That is going to happen to
Those
you.
videos
No,
of
that's right.
the chicks like skating around on roller skates and booty shorts in fucking Iran.
No, but I want to.
No.
Oh,
I
dude,
would like
look
to
them
see
up,
that.
man. In the 70s,
Oh yeah, you're talking about
dude, no,
pre-Islamist
Yeah,
Iran.
shot-
Yeah, it was
shot-
pretty.
yeah,
It's
before
pretty awful.
Ayatollah took over.
Yes.
The before and after pictures are pretty depressing.
Persia was beautiful.
Oh man, it's fucking sad.
It
like
was, yeah, man, it was a
you
fucking
know, I'm all
Riviera,
about fucking
yeah.
hating on women, but I gotta.
Like Sharia now.
I got a daughter, and she's the shit, man. And she could probably bat better than most of y'all, and probably fucking play hockey better than most of y'all, and
Hockey,
skateboard
baby.
better than most of y'all.
Skateboard
But-
definitely.
She's a little shithead, and I couldn't imagine having a kid growing up in that kind of fucking situation where they just completely shut you out of fucking education, science, technology, math, anything. Like, I can't fucking imagine that, man. Because she's such a cool
Well,
kid.
good news for you, Roots. You don't have to imagine it. You just gotta look at Iran.
My biggest proponent is this: like we're bringing over
Virgie, man,
refugees.
I fucking love you, bro.
Iran
Bring over
educates their
refugees
girls.
before we bring over Americans.
Afghanistan
Like,
doesn't,
they're
but Iran
importing
does.
Yeah,
that culture here.
Yeah, research or Google. What is it called? Afghani boy play. Yeah, and then
I
they
would
never want to
rather
know
not,
again.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Holy
really,
shit.
yeah.
Do that, man.
Something
You'll
I-
never want an Afghani in your country.
No,
That's the
actually,
norm there.
one of the most infuriating things that you'll ever read is the articles talking about higher ups in the military, like the orders coming down that military men weren't allowed to interfere with fucking Afghanis, fucking little
Fucking
boys.
Right. Yeah.
This is another thing that I find confusing.
Yes,
Isn't
at the
it
police
weird
stations.
isn't it weird that apparently some of the most staunch religious, like you're allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, also seem to be some of the most incredibly perverted people on the fucking planet?
Repression,
What
man.
the hell is
We're all
this?
fucked
Look,
in
if
the
you'll
head,
fucking
man.
go,
Yeah,
you'll
it's
fuck
okay
a
to
boy.
marry your first cousin. What the fuck is that?
It's called repression.
West Virginia? Like-
I'm speaking from
Yeah,
personal
hey,
aspect.
Virgie, you're from Virginia. Shut the
on
fuck
top
up.
of repression.
That's
repression.
Virginia,
That's
not
West Virginia, not Virginia. Duh. Sorry.
Repression.
Yeah, we
I'm
just
from
breed
Virginia.
and
I'm
fucking.
from Virginia as well.
Texas
damn it,
gonna
that's
shut
the
up now.
In
Banjo on my
Palestine.
knee.
But it's called
Look up the
repression.
incest rate in Palestine, guys.
The
It is
freakiest girls
fucking
I've ever
astounding.
met.
It's like 80%.
Because the Quran says you can marry your first cousin.
Dude, that's not too far from our own fucking shit.
Did
We got
Excel
fucking
leave?
Tennessee. We got Kentucky.
I just had a moment. I just had a
I
moment.
think Excel disappeared.
I just had a moment of clarity.
Excel ran away.
Hey, Antenna, you said you're gonna bring in Carl? I'm gonna bounce out because I got someone coming here
Oh,
to talk about what's up.
No, I said I wish I could bring him in.
I'm gonna
You could
jump
go do
out.
your sexual urges, but it was just no.
Yeah.
I wish I could because he's the one that explains all the maintenance and stuff better than I do.
Yeah, bring him in.
They
He's
haven't
been
had a
he's
moment
much
of
better
clarity
suited
in
for this
6
conversation.
months.
But I'm gonna like take care of my own repressed urges. You'll have a good
I don't know.
later.
The dude with the gas
Alright, later,
mask
right.
avatar is
man.
fucking perfectly suited for this conversation. I do believe better than any of us.
But no, I did have a moment of clarity real quick. It doesn't
God.
matter how perverted or hypocritical you are, as long as you have the guns, it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
The Taliban's proven that to us. Yeah, we can go ahead and fuck camels and marry off little girls, and it goes completely against our religion that we claim to be staunchly for, but dare call us out on our hypocrisy, then well, back to the phone. Back to the shed with you. We got the guns, you don't.
Fucking shooting closer.
I don't know. I have some problems with some of the stuff that's in the Quran that these people follow as fundamentalists. There's some shit I'm like, dude, You wipe your ass with just your hand? Are you fucking serious? Like you literally, ew. Seriously?
You guys
1400
don't?
years ago, 1400 years ago, you're out in the desert. There's no paper. There's no leaves. There's no nothing. How the hell do you think you're doing?
I know,
Oh,
but
cat.
it's not 1400 years and they're still doing it.
Yeah, but
There's loads of countries like that. There's millions of. There's loads and loads of countries where everything you eat with your right hand and everything else is done with the left hand. It's
Hey, old habits die hard.
I want to thank Eric F. For the $10 dono on PayPal.me. Just saying, thank you. No message, but gratitude. It doesn't
Thank
pop up
you.
on the screen when it is, so I feel obligated to say thanks.
So,
Does
hey,
that help Terry
Irate,
for the move?
when do we get paid for participating in this?
Actually, yeah, I'm coordinating with the government right now to help that out. So you should be hearing from you get your 1099.
Yeah, I
and
fucking
shit,
love you, bro.
Irate will let you know when you're gonna get your free Black Hawk helicopter and your tax refund.
no, you'll get your 199 out of the 4 trillion whatever that they're
Fuck
trying
that.
to.
Where's my McNuke?
Yeah,
I
really.
can't take anybody with a British accent fucking seriously nowadays.
Too bad for you.
Hey, you're all right, man. I'm not talking shit. I'm
I know.
I'm just telling you, I fucking really can't, dude.
You fucking asshole, Roots.
Don't worry,
Right, well,
most
yeah,
Americans.
Hey, hold up,
don't-
man.
We are
Hold
kind
up.
of,
We need a moment of silence right now.
It's
My
fucking
dog's
chaotic.
asshole. He's been pissing out of his ass all fucking day. The son of a
Oh
bitch.
my fucking god, Roots. Why are we talking about this?
Because he's doing it right now, man. And I'm fucking
Bro,
cracking up.
come on, man.
I'm sitting in the backyard, bro. I'm sitting in the
Hey
fucking
man,
backyard.
Ed throws me
Okay, I
$5.
thought you were in the house for a second.
No, man, I'm outside. I'm sitting in the backyard just chilling, dude. I'm having a couple beers. My cousin's gonna stop by in a few. So,
Ed just hit me 5 and says, "Wish my dick luck." Good luck, Dick.
Good luck,
Good
Pete.
luck, Ed's dick.
Good luck with your fucking phallus things.
so yeah, hey, man, I'm gonna look at the chat right now, but I want y'all to put F's in the chat. My dog's asshole, because he's fucking bad right now, man. He is fucking diarrhea city.
What
Poor
did
guy.
he eat?
He's a good boy too, man. He's a really good boy. He's a pit.
Y'all so crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's really not a far cry talking about the situation in Afghanistan and then talking about a dog taking a shit. Like, it's basically the same
it's all
fucking
connected.
conversation.
Did you
Right?
see him doing fucking jumping jacks?
I got it, Ed. Thank you.
Oh shit, is that Aunt Kathy? Who the fuck is that?
We wish
That's
Dick
it, kid?
good luck.
No, that was Tema. That was the Tema the Hunt.
No, I'm just listening.
No, the poor guy has been laying down. I don't know what he got into. He doesn't eat the garbage. He doesn't do anything bad. He never shits in the house. He never pisses in the house. He never does nothing like that. But I think he might have ate a dead bird. I think it made him fucking sick.
Nah, he was just listening to our dumbasses talk on stream and give him the
Or,
shits.
or yeah, he was just listening to me talk to you
This
assholes.
conversation giving me the shits, people. No,
shit.
I'm kidding. You know, it's like
He's a good ass dog, man. He's a good ass dog.
We do need to kind of get to a point of wrapping because usually we keep the show.
Oh, yeah,
try to keep
it's
it
over
at
2 hours now.
Yeah, and but this has been. We need to do open mic like once a month, Tim. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I
like
think we do too, especially with some of the current events going on in our world right now. I
Yeah.
think this is a
People
great
wanna
forum
sound
for
off on
everybody to
this
get
shit.
together.
Absolutely.
Man,
So,
oh my God, have you seen the child? They got a new child army in Africa that they had to kill 57 of them to stop them from killing. Like they were stop them at 80 killed
Yeah.
in engagement, and
In
they had
Burkina Faso.
they had killed 120 of them before these child killers. What is it, 80%? of the what they're calling this insurgency force or whatever is in between the ages of 12 and 14.
Jesus.
Are you serious?
So,
That is-
speaking of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that shit. Big time.
Speaking of Africa, it looks like the island nation of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean, which is technically considered a part of Africa, is set to become Africa's first fully developed country by 2022.
Are they adding a
Wow.
hotel? Is that it?
And India's a
And India was going to be a superpower.
It's
I can't wait for their
75%
space program to kick in.
It was uninhabited before discovery by the Portuguese. It's 75% Indian.
Oh,
So
wow.
although it's technically a sub-Saharan African country, it's
Let
culturally,
the friends
ethnically
eat.
more in line with South Asia.
You'd like some curry, but that
Okay, so but it's the only Asian nation within Africa.
No,
Is that what I'm understanding?
well, it's majority South Asia. It's considered part of Africa. It's in the Indian Ocean. It's an archipelago. Technically, Madagascar is well, the inhabitants of Madagascar are of mixed Southeast Asian African descent because it was colonized by Southeast Asians about 1,000 years ago. The Malagasy people were originally from Borneo, but that's that's totally irrelevant here.
Well, hey guys, I'm
But it is-
gonna say good night to everyone.
all right, 99. Yeah, everybody, 8
Night,
p.m. be
Kathy.
cranking up a
Good
little
night.
bit. So
I love
Good night,
y'all.
Aunt Kathy.
Cheers,
It was
Kathy.
great talking to you.
let's go ahead
It's
and,
been great talking to
and
y'all. I've missed all of you very much.
big hug.
You sound much
Like-
better.
I was so
Okay.
worried about you, ma'am.
I'm glad.
I'm still here.
Well, we,
Thank
Thank you.
God.
Oh, good.
If
I
I can
was
keep my
praying
heart
for
rate
you.
down. My heart
we
rate's
love you
so
like we
high.
love butter beans, honey. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Yeah, gotta have them butter beans with chopped up onion and cornbread.
That's right.
Fuck, I hated picking butter beans, man. That shit sucked.
Oh, no,
Oh, they're
Henry.
great.
See, man, you
All
get
right.
old, you'll like it. Shit, trust me.
Yeah.
It's correct.
Later, Tiki Doodle.
All right, I love y'all. I'll
All right.
talk to you later.
All right,
Later,
Tell
Kathy.
everybody good night and chat for me.
big hug.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. I'm gonna squeeze
Good
in back.
meeting you, Kat.
You too. Thank you for the information, y'all.
All right, fam.
I was a
so-
little overwhelming, though.
yeah, let's go
I'm
ahead
gonna have
and
to now. I gotta go watch something stupid so I'll have better dreams.
Well, AP
Good
should be
idea.
on in like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to catch some of him
Yeah,
if I
we'll
can. I'm
probably
gonna,
be in
go
this
see,
chat too.
I'm gonna go see if one of the
Is AP coming on?
grandkids
Yeah,
he and
Saturday.
brother or
Saturday.
anything. I'll go stare at one of them a while.
that's right.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Night, show.
Good
night.
night. Thank you so much, Aunt Kathy.
No, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to y'all.
You're awesome.
Love you, Aunt Kathy.
Oh,
Fucking
I
love
love
that
streaming
woman.
with her.
She brings
Dude,
all
she's
kinds
an
of people
asshole.
together, man. She's so cool.
She is the funniest fucking woman on the she's like Betty White. It's fucking crazy. She's
Yeah.
so goddamn funny just naturally.
Yeah.
Virgie, dude, she's not that old, dude. Aunt Kathy is not a bad looking broad.
Jesus Christ, Bruce.
Well, let's say goodbye, and we'll continue this in the Discord.
Yeah.
Loves
Okay.
and loves,
Okay.
everybody.
All right. So everybody
Time to
say
hang out,
goodbye.
man.
See you next episode, everyone.
Bye,
In that
everybody.
case, cheers, everybody. Have a good night.